1570 WBGX Harvey, Chicago.
WIFTV PM.
Support reach.
WIFTV PM. WIFTV PM.
Support reach.
AM 1570 WBGX Harvey, Chicago. And you can tell them, May said, we want to know what's in it for the black people.
What's in it for the black people? What's in it? What's in it for the black people? I'm in it. What's in it for the black people? What's in it? What's in it for the black people? I'm in it. For the black people. 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 What's in it for the black people? Let's hear it. What's in it for the black people? Don't fear it. What's in it for the black people? Let's hear it. What's in it for the black people? Don't fear it. For the black people. 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 What's in it for the black people? You know it. What's in it for the black people? Let's show it. What's in it for the black people? You know it. What's in it for the black people? Let's show it. For the black people. 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 For the black people.
WIFTV PM.
What's up, good people? If you didn't tune in to the last I Said What I Said, here's what you missed. This legendary journalist, man, his list of accomplishments goes on and on. He's an author, a brother. He is someone that, for me, I've looked up to literally since I was about 11 or 12 years old. And this was really before I knew his name. I mean, I knew what Slam Magazine was. That's kind of what you did as a shorty. But I didn't even know that he wrote for it, right? And I had read plenty of his articles, but I didn't know that the dude who I saw every morning on my way to school was Scoop Jackson. Eastside crazy, man. So, in growing up over there where I grew up, there wasn't a whole lot of positive male representation. I would walk down the block past his house every morning. I would see him coming out of his driveway, right? He had this coldest truck, black Pathfinder, if I recall. I would see him, and he would always just take a couple minutes to chop it up, and it would just be me or, a couple of my guys just walking to school. And again, over there wasn't a whole lot of representation of positive black males. I don't know that you were aware of the difference that you were making on us at the time.
I don't want to say I don't believe in the concept of giving back. I feel if you give back, that means that you left. So my whole purpose in never leaving the same neighborhood I came up in is that I never gave back. You just give. I would hope that I would have impact on what your everyday lives were. I could be the one dude in the neighborhood that stopped and spoke to you, which I think is really important.
Yeah.
Because young individuals in black neighborhoods, especially young men, get ignored very quickly.
All the time.
They get dismissed. Right. They get minimized. And one thing, I still do it to this day. Say what's up to everybody, especially young brothers, because we have a tendency not to acknowledge one another. And I've never lived that life. My hope was that, us having the small time and me just being there and you all, just developing a relationship with me and me developing a relationship with you would have at least a small impact on you. It would give you there's some decent people around me. There's something I can look forward to maybe. If I don't have anybody else in this neighborhood that I could talk to that can identify with me, right, I can ring Scoop's doorbell. You got a good memory. It was a black Pathfinder too. You good.
Coldest truck I had seen. I was like, yo, that's raw. Cuz ballin'. I said what I said. Herb 2, right here on What's in It for the Black People Media.
Minding our black-owned business. I have a good friend with us this morning. I'm so excited. Jonathan Swain is here. KimBarkBeverage.com. We tend to talk about business a lot. We both are in family businesses. Was this the plan? Because you are second generation business owner.
Yeah. No, actually, I'll talk about it from my father's perspective, and I'll talk about it from my perspective. His perspective, he did not want me to be in this business. The liquor business has a sordid history. You know, they call it a sin business. I mean, it's less that now, but it had a very sordid history. He didn't want me to do this. He wanted me to go off to school. My father was the first person to fire me at 9 years old. I was supposed to be at work at 11 o'clock, and I showed up 5 minutes late, walked me outside, and fired me. And I'll never be late again. So I appreciate him for that. I walked home. My mother said, well, what happened? I said, Dad fired me. What happened? I was late. He said, well, you got fired. You're late. You can't be late. Told you to get up and leave. My side of it, in many ways, I have a very unique rearing experience in that I've never seen my father work a job. So when I was born, my dad was an entrepreneur. Growing up, I'm going to own my own business. I'm going to be in business doing something, controlling my own destiny in some ways. In particular, my father's generation relative to us, there's not a lot of information transfer about how that works. And there's not a lot of context. It's kind of, I'm going to keep you away from the struggles I had so you don't have them. But in not seeing the struggles, you don't know how to get through the struggles. But as I've gotten older and we developed a relationship and talked about it, I began to understand a lot of the bumps and the bruises and the challenges and what makes entrepreneurship and business ownership not for the weak and weary. All the success I've had in business has been a function of with my parents. As fortunate as I am and people look to my business story, there is no business story but for them and what they did. I mean, my dad was the first black business owner in Hyde Park in the 1970s. Hyde Park, though it's in welcoming and inclusive now, wasn't always that way.
Yeah.
There are a lot of stories that he would tell us about the challenge that he had being a black-owned business in Hyde Park back in the 1970s. That success comes from their legacy ultimately.
So what you see a bad mother.
You are listening to the most dangerous show in the morning. This is What's in It for the Black People Radio. Maze Jackson. Maze Jackson, the most vociferous advocate for black people in the world.
What's in it for the black people? Cause economically we are not equal. Waking up to lies, can't doze no more. I told y'all, yeah, this a dangerous show. Don't go to church if you ain't trying to help us. Don't even try to be around and can't protect us. We see the lies now, other politicians. We need money and no symbolism. It's Maze and Sonia and Ruthie and Todd, explaining how we all come from God, giving us tools to beat the odds. If we're united, our movement gon' stop. If they ain't tryna help us, they ain't tryna do nothing. We gotta do something, we gotta stop running. It's time to confront the problem. Really, you expect your oppressed to solve them?
What's in it for the black people? All the lies we didn't heard before. Time to pay attention, you gotta do more than listen. Need some action with on the count of three. Let's roll.
Wake up, Chicago. Wake up, world. This is the Maze Jackson Show. I'm your host, Maze Jackson. Got my co-host, Todd Stroger. Todd, how you feeling, man?
Good morning, Maze.
Don't be trying to read your notes late. You get here on time, man. You're supposed to review that. You know what I mean? I see you.
No, I like being surprised.
Right. We like being surprised. We be like, surprise, he made it. He made it to the building. All right, that's my co-host,
And you're
Todd.
right, the cold almost kept me at home.
The coat. I see you got your flannel shirt on, man. You looking kind of lumberjackish.
Oh.
Todd, tell him don't touch you.
Dang, Ruthie, you know what
Ruthie tough.
I told you, Ruthie be running around here. Ruthie the bully. Ruthie is the bully of what's in it for the black people.
No way.
Media. Oh, stop it.
You know I don't believe in bullying.
Stop. Yeah, right.
I
Just
don't.
threats and intimidation.
Or intimidation tactics.
That's right.
Ruthie's right. Ruthie's right.
Right.
Right, that's it.
No.
Oh goodness, that is Ruthie Moore in the building. Ruthie, how you feeling this morning?
Well, you know, we talked about bleeding radiators yesterday.
Mm-hmm.
and Mr. Stroger walked in and gave me a radiator key.
Now check that out. Now, first of all,
So Chicago, y'all see how this works?
see,
Family.
that's
Jinx, Sonia.
that's real talk though. I was
Thank you. I appreciate it.
that's
Oh, true.
see, and you see that part
Just
right
don't
there.
burn yourself.
See, that's the part right there though.
Radiators.
That's the part right there,
What part
Ruthie.
is it, Maze?
It's
What
the
part is it?
appreciation, the gratefulness, the thank you, right? Like recognizing that somebody went out of their way to make sure. See, we gonna get you straight. I'm telling you.
Oh,
Todd.
but I gotta remind you.
Okay.
When you turn the key and if air starts coming out, don't leave.
Run.
No.
You know what? I don't know.
If you leave and you come back an hour later, you'll find your whole place is flooded. So
Really, I have never understood the whole process of the radiator, and maybe one of these days we'll talk about it. Cause I remember being a kid and having a radiator, and I just remember bumping into it and being like,
ouch.
"That's hot. Stay away." Right? And then I remember when I was in my frat house, we had radiators, and I could never figure it out. So it was either freezing or burning. And it's like and so I just never understood the whole concept. But I'm glad
probably
that
didn't have the digital, what do they call that thing that the controls
Thermostat.
it? Yeah, thermostat.
No, I always had a thermostat in the house. So I just thought that the heat, I just thought it was magic.
The digital thermostat will help, keep.
Oh, on a radiator?
Yeah.
They can do it on the radiator?
Uh-huh.
Oh, I didn't know that.
So
Look at y'all. I'm you know what? It just shows. I'm just not even going to trip. That's pretty cool. I'm going to get up to date because radiator heat is hot, though.
See,
It's the winter. We
Maze
need to talk
is
about
rich.
it.
He's got some guy downstairs throwing wood in the furnace.
No, but I was faster. Damn it, faster. Man, I'm telling you, it's tropical. I try to keep it tropical in the house, though.
Yeah.
I keep it tropical. Y'all be like,
Maze keep his heat on wealthy.
No, first of all, I keep it on Negro rich. That's what I keep it on. All right, let me say what's up to Sonia Escobar. How you feeling in the building?
I'm okay. I woke up with low tire pressure today, and it scared me.
It scared us too because you were not here, and usually that door clicks at 5:45 every day, and I know all is well. When Ruthie came in first, I was like, uh-oh.
No, Maze was like, dang, what you doing here?
Because it's like I set my timing to the show by when you get in. And so when Ruthie's here and you're not, I'm like, uh-oh. I live in bizarro world. Look, let's talk about it more. We'll get to the headlines when we come back. It's the Maze Jackson Show. We'll be back.
I told y'all, yeah, this is a dangerous show. Don't go to church if you ain't trying to help us. Don't even try to be around.
The Maze Jackson Show will be back after this break.
The Chicago Legal Network is the collaboration of attorneys that concentrate in many areas of the law most needed in Chicago neighborhoods. The CLN lawyers focus on personal injury, criminal defense, and other issues. The CLN lawyers all average over 20 years of legal experience and are dedicated to helping the Chicago community. The Chicago Legal Network is committed to developing black lawyers through mentorship and co-representation. So if you were injured in a car accident, slip and fall, or injured on the job, or you need assistance with criminal defense, including driving violations and DUI, check out ChicagoLegalNetwork.com for more information or call 773-912-3545. 773-912-3545.
Boys, step aside. The Radio Rookie is in the building. The Book of Dawn, Monday through Friday, 9 a.m. to 11 a.m. on What's In It for the Black People Media.
Back to the Maze Jackson Show. AM 1570 WBGX Harvey, Chicago.
WIIFTV PM.
970 WBGX Harvey, Chicago.
Listening to the Maze Jackson Show. I'm your host, Maze Jackson. Got my co-host, Todd, Stroger, Ruthie, Sonia, Escobar. Look, we got everybody. We locked and loaded, so let's do this. Let's get the Soul Plane up to 60,000
Can we
feet.
take a helicopter one of these days?
No. I get motion sickness in helicopters.
I'm going to tell you, the helicopter is my kind of like local dream. Right? I wish I had a helicopter.
It's cool.
I mean, I wish I had a helicopter to just get around the city, right? Like to be up, over, and down.
Rooftop to rooftop.
Right, but they, you can't even fly helicopters you can. We just got the helicopter tours, but you can't fly it like they can in New York, right? Right, like in New York, you know that really with the helicopter though, you can land it anywhere that has the space, as long as they've got the width of the. They'll let you drop it.
Yeah.
I ain't gonna say love it because it's always generally something emergency, but I like to see them land on the rooftops at the hospitals.
That means somebody dying.
I just said I don't really,
You be like, look.
Well, let's say somebody hurt.
You know what I've liked to see those old school helicopters, putting stuff together like the construction helicopters. Have you seen them like putting the antenna on top of a building when it's over or something like that?
Yeah.
That's really, I think that's pretty cool. But
One of our fraternity brothers in our chapter, he flew helicopters in Vietnam, but he said, I was nobody. Those guys like on MASH, when you put two people on the side, he said that really throws things off. Those guys knew what they were doing.
Oh man, I
just love watching the men jump on the helicopter and jump off with the big vests and the.
Speaking of helicopters, it just made me think of Kobe Bryant in 2020, and just the year that it has been. But I was also thinking about I've always wanted to buy you'd be surprised at the age of a lot of these like planes, buses, helicopters. They are in existence because they got like those Rolls Royce engines that last for like hundreds of thousands of if not millions of miles. They're built for that. And I was just thinking I bet you could buy a helicopter for probably about $150,000-$200,000.
Oh, they super and little small planes are a little bit cheaper now because everybody,
Actually, private travel is now coming down because it's becoming more accessible. A lot of people
guess. I'm guessing, of course, that the real cost is in storage and maintenance
and fuel.
Oh, fuel costs.
Fuel.
A lot, yeah.
I mean, you think about. Those suckers are burning, right? Like 30,000 gallons, right?
It's better
like
to be a member.
It's
better to be like a member of a club. And
be a member, or in the case, know somebody who owns a jet.
Yeah, that's all.
I need y'all to step y'all game up.
I need a little bit more than a radiator.
Right, dang. See, ungrateful women, dag nabbit. You give them a string, they want to be a cowgirl. All right, let's move on. Biden announces more picks. Guys, we're going to talk about this a little bit later because I saw a graphic yesterday of all the Indian Americans who were in the cabinet. And, I said, let's go Black Girl Magic, and it made a lot of people mad. We're going to talk about that, though, because I do think we got to be ever vigilant. And I think the Kool-Aid drinkers have a responsibility now to not be wowed by their candidate. Now they have to be... the people who are like, wait, now have to be like negotiating. I think they're rapidly letting the time pass by. But we'll talk about that in a minute. Madigan's next move, who will it be, Todd? I think that Rich Miller gave a pretty succinct smacking yesterday of the Madigan Forever crew. Who said that never bet against the speaker. He was like, never say never. And it was just a very interesting and succinct discussion on the speaker. And I think if you guys get a chance, you should read Capital Facts yesterday. If you are interested in this whole story that I'm talking about, we'll talk about it a little bit later. But I do think it took a lot of the hyperbole out of it and just got down to political math.
Aha. Politics. I think sometimes people forget this is politics. This isn't personality.
You know what? And I think, you know what, Todd? I'm going to give you that. I'm going to give you that on this one. I think that, I think now what we are going to watch is a display in hubris and a display in, like, this is going to be the ultimate how to, I don't even know what it's just going to be a real interesting process to watch the changing of the guard, even if he gets dragged out kicking and screaming. And does he sit in the chamber as a member and try and create havoc because he didn't get his way?
You know what I was thinking?
I'm here for all of it.
Because of our conversation. And I was thinking that as I know the speaker does everything for politics. It's not personality. He may like you, but he'll still crush you if he feels like it's going to help him out.
Right.
And they got to feel the same way.
Right. I feel like they need to be crushed like in the 48 Laws of Power, destroy your enemy and destroy them totally.
Right.
I think that there needs to be a witch hunt. And I think that there needs to be an identification of Madigan loyalists. And I think they should get shot. I mean, I'm gonna just tell you. I told you.
You know, Madigan lights the fires when he's like, I need this. Somebody give me a match.
Yep. I am going to say and I know I expressed some real frustration yesterday that has not gone away.
You still mad?
You know what, Ruthie? I am mad. I ain't gonna even lie. I'm mad. I'm disgusted. It's like I feel like I want to.
Well, remember, today was the deadline that we gave for anybody that wanted to.
Did we vote on that?
Y'all,
look at the dick. See, I told you she a bully.
Confused. Tuesday or
she
Friday?
said, y'all got till Monday. I'm taking lunch money on Wednesday. Look, Wednesday she taking lunch money. Ruthie around here gangster.
Central Standard Time, or
you know, I think that it is important for people to be able to redeem themselves. And so I think that we should have an open place for people who want to just jump off the Madigan ship. Like, I think we should give them time to come on back into the fold. Now, the deadline was today, but I think we can extend it if y'all okay with that.
I mean, I think that they're going to extend it until he says that we got to call. If we want them, we got to call the Madigan to ask them, what's the deadline?
Put it in the comments. What does the say?
All right, we're going to talk to the people. We want the people to tell us. I'm going to keep on moving. Snowfall. In case you all do not watch Snowfall, did you watch Snowfall? Okay, y'all got to get up on Snowfall. Is the story of the origins of the crack epidemic in South Central Los Angeles. It's really good. John Singleton wrote it, right? The founder of Boys in the Hood. It's a series.
Is that about a kid? I mean, I guess he's not a kid, but a young man?
Franklin, yes. A young man and his guys, and they come up. Well, I just saw the preview that they'll be back in 2021. There was a question whether it would come back that since John Singleton died.
Oh, right.
Right? And John Singleton died. So it'll be interesting to see, but it's coming back. Also, season finale of Fargo. I caught that last night. I'm not going to blow it. And then also, are you all watching The Undoing on HBO? I know it's a white show, but I'm just going to tell y'all. Y'all got,
what's that about?
It takes me three shots at watching any 1 hour show after 7 o'clock. If any show that comes on after Chicago Tonight, well, I'm telling you,
I get you.
It's three. Carrie was like, "Do you want to watch this?" She was like, "I stopped The Undoing for the third time. Do you think you can make it through it this time?" I was like, "Just go ahead, babe. I'll catch you there."
When I leave the show and I go home, I eat. Then I'll say, "I'm gonna watch this," and then 20 minutes in,
you cutting grass, mowing, cutting trees. All right. Post-Thanksgiving surge is inevitable. It seems as though the governor and everyone has kind of thrown their hands up. I noticed that there was a bunch of parties busted up this weekend, but the biggest ones on the white side of town didn't get a lecture. I wonder, was the mayor out of town? Too busy trying to. She was on her family vacation. Did you see the story of Vincel Jackson, who was killed for stopping a man from eating Thanksgiving leftovers with his hands? Apparently, he was at a party, and his girlfriend had a Thanksgiving get together, and I lost the guy's name who came, the murderer, but they saw him eating the leftovers with his hands. So imagine somebody going in the sweet potatoes with their hands, the macaroni and cheese with their hands. You say, "Hey Joe, what is you doing? Get out. Just get out."
Who brought this guy?
Right, exactly. Right. Turns out that guy winds up stabbing the boyfriend and killing him for escorting him out. But could you imagine somebody that ain't with you sticking their hands in? First of all,
I don't care if you're with me. Keep your hands out there.
Right, keep your hands out. Flossmore, check this out. Shout out to our immigration cousins. Shout out to Mala Adiga. She's Jill Biden's new policy chief.
Oh, wow.
She is a Indian American from Flossmore. Shout out to our Indian American family, people of color collaboration. They are seeming to come up. We're going to talk about that a little bit later. Overnight parking ban began this morning, December 1. After, if you're on a thoroughfare, they're going to take you out. And have we heard from the mayor? Is she still rewarding the white guys for voting against her budget? You know, I'm just saying. When we going to get a new aviation chief? I want all the top white spots. We need a new ethics people. We get all the top whites. We want all the top white spots for all them black votes y'all took. All right, y'all. This is the Maze Jackson Show. When we come back, we're going to ask the social media question of the day. Are some black people just more driven to succeed than others? We'll talk about it when we come back.
The Maze Jackson Show will be back after this break. Maze Jackson.
If you could make up a social media holiday, what would it be?
Randy said National Don't Let No One Put You Down Day.
No, what you gonna do? So when they say something crazy, you slap them?
Be like May said. Remy said a Jukathon Day.
Man, we're about 60 years old. I be done had a heart attack.
You gotta get your heart rate up.
Okay, not that far.
All right, Mario said my favorite one. My friends and I do what we call National Call Off from Work Day.
As a business owner, I don't.
You don't like that, yeah.
I don't like that.
Because I'm the boss of this family.
We got Marcus Garvey Day from Remy too.
Oh, Marcus Garvey Day. All right, what will we do on Marcus Garvey Day?
Call off from work.
I'm going to need you to go ahead and come in tomorrow. That would be great. Okay?
Yeah, right.
Every black holiday has something to do with calling off from work.
You're cool. I'm out.
About National Join a Positive Black Organization Day, because I don't want to be recruited. I don't want to be recruited and the brothers be like, thank you. Thank you. How about National Tell White People the Truth Day? Tell them how you really feel.
You can't handle the truth.
Why don't we call that National Black People Get Locked Up Day?
I'm going to tell them there's an African-American man threatening my life.
Hello.
The most dangerous show in the morning.
Shop at Black-owned and operated Solo Beauty, where you are appreciated and respected. Located at 8158 South Cottage Grove, Solo Beauty can supply all of your black hair care needs. Solo Beauty is open from 11 a.m. to 8 p.m., Tuesday through Saturday.
It's time for the social media question of the day. It's time for the social media question of the day.
You are listening to the Maze Jackson Show. I'm your host, Maze Jackson. Got my co-host, Todd
Stroger.
Go ahead, Ruthie. Take it away. I'm going to let you open up the mic. Come on. Give it to me.
Wake up, world. Wake up, Chicago. It's your man, Maze Jackson.
No, it's Ruthie.
No, I'm you, Maze.
Oh, okay. You can't beat me.
Maze.
Ruthie.
Okay.
I'm bigger than you.
You're right.
Okay. Go ahead.
It's
Take the
Ruthie.
mic.
It's Maze. It's Todd and Sonia. And we got Sissy's Taco Bar Pop-Up.
Uh-oh. Look at you. Look at that transition.
You know how I see. I got that from you, Maze.
Okay.
But I'm not bigger than you, though.
You're going to be much bigger. You're going to be the biggest, Ruthie. Tell us about Sissy's, though, because it's back in the building now, right? They back this week.
Yes. Are you ready for some authentic, delicious street tacos on the south side of Chicago?
Yep.
Stop by Sissy's Taco Pop-Up Bar, 312 East 75th Street, this Thursday and Friday, December 3rd and 4th, 6:30 p.m. to 9:30 p.m. Experience their jerk, sriracha, and blackened salmon tacos.
Is it salmon or salmon?
Salmon.
Do you know what? I love when people be like, I'd like some salmon when they be extra professional.
Salmon.
And I'd be like, this L is silent.
Hey, don't forget to ask about their Rome walking tacos, Sissy Street Corn, and children's meals. It comes with a special prize. Visit sissytacobar.com.
Now, don't y'all kids be sticking y'all hand all the way down in the bag trying to get the
shake
prize.
the bag, Maze.
Now, you going to shake up the sriracha shrimp and muss up my taco, then it's go. Man.
Maze, you had generic cereal anyway. You didn't have no prize.
That's the truth. Prize, huh? There was no prize.
His prize was drawn with a crayon on the back of the box. You know how they put the mazes on the back of the box?
Oh, dang. I still have flashbacks of that green and white and gray aisle. It was the brightest aisle in the store. It was like, they're coming. Look, it was like, the poor people are coming. The poor people are coming. And it would be like all my friends would be shopping around the aisle. It was like the avoid aisle. Right? Like, so you come in the Jewel, it's like, because if you shopped in the generic aisle, everything you got was in that aisle.
Everything,
right? From the flour to the, you could go down that aisle and then go right back out.
I call it the Wick-approved aisle.
Oh.
Well, that makes sense.
I've been poor before.
You know what? I don't think we've ever.
I don't think income matters when WIC, when you're dealing with mothers with babies. Yeah, they'll still give it to you.
You know what? WIC is, I think that's a good thing. You know what though? I don't ever recall being, us ever using food stamps. I do recall my mom getting WIC because that Similac wasn't no joke. That stuff was expensive. But it got me to thinking about, it's a perfect segue to our social media question of the day, which is, are some black people more driven to success than others? I look at myself, and in self-reflection, I must be honest and say that I have benefited greatly from the programs, processes, and the remnants of affirmative action that could be given to a young lad growing up in the 70s, 80s, and coming of age in the 90s, right? So I would like to say that I have been a combination of blessed, hardworking, driven, with a little bit of luck.
Everybody needs that.
To reach a modicum of success. Now, success is relative, and it depends on what you look at. And I'm talking about right now, financially. Right? Financially. And to me, financially successful for a black person is a little bit different than for a white person. But to the point where now it is not literally paycheck to paycheck. It's like paycheck to 4 paychecks or something like that, right? But I think about what role did I have in my success? And I gotta be honest, it is not, there is nothing special particularly about me, except for the fact that I refuse to, I detest mediocrity, and I refuse to lose. So my premise is that if I had to work at McDonald's and I only made $9 an hour, then I probably would have to work 3 jobs. But I would not remain mired in the hole.
Right.
With the goal of going from a staff member from making fries from washing dishes to making fries to making Big Macs to eventually being a crew member, crew chief, and a manager. But I would not stay in my circumstances if I did not like them. And I would do everything that I could to get out of it. But I also want to recognize that there is institutional racism. I also want to recognize that there are a lot of factors that are put in place that are roadblocks. And I believe roadblocks or hurdles, but not insurmountable walls, that most black people, men and women, have to deal with. I would tell you that I have probably been called nigga in the workplace and had to make a decision. Would I snap off and walk away from that or figure out a different way to navigate it? I have suffered through people getting paid for my work, getting paid more than me for the same things that I do, for people even taking my ideas and monetizing them because they have the relationships that I do not. In spite of all of that, I personally have determined that I will not lose. But I ask myself, is that realistic? Does every black person truly have a chance to succeed with failing schools, with a system that is meant to railroad you away from college but to jail? My parents weren't of status. They were hardworking teacher, typewriter repairman / preacher that was like, there is no substitute for hard work. And I would say that taking that philosophy into my life has led to this. No, I wasn't granted anything. I wasn't gifted anything. I did have some good breaks. And I did make choices that then allowed me to benefit from them. I did not graduate from college. I went down there and got in trouble and decided I was going to be something besides in school. And I actually took the long way around, right? How I got in politics was because our friend went to jail. And I was like, damn, that happened to me, but he was able to be successful. What did he do? Let me go find this guy. Mm-hmm. So my question becomes, are some black people just more driven to succeed than others? Whether it's your parents, whether it was how you grew up, whether it's what you've seen, what is the difference between success and non-success for black people, certain black people? I am going to go to the rebel without a pause first. Young Ruthie, get me straight.
Well, I think that this is a really good social media question. You know, I always like to start with, how are we defining success? Are we talking pure economics?
I think economics from the perspective that it allows you to do the other things that you want. So I'm not saying you got to be a billionaire.
Mm-hmm.
I'm saying
but just not check to check.
That you can do, you have the ability to provide for your family with some level of comfort that you can enjoy some life. You can take your kids out to dinner. You can. I'm not talking about being a millionaire. I'm talking about let's say not living check to check.
It's interesting. When I look around at like our people, our community, my peers, younger people, I always think that it can't be something wrong with all of us. Like financially, why are all of us not just, have like this opulent wealth? And so I think even if we define success by our metrics, it's still lower than white people's measurement of economic success. Because remember, we talked about 100K for a black person. We feasting.
You top one, right?
We feasting.
100K black. You living.
Yeah.
You living. At least imaginarily.
Yeah, so when I just think about just looking around at my own peers, like I said, it ain't something wrong with all of us. So when I try to figure out, okay, why are our economic outcomes kind of similar? And a lot of people, my peers have kind of like the same story. And in my case, I point to student loans. And I point to the economy and the lack of well-paying jobs. So, Maze, you talked earlier about like maybe having to work 3 jobs, that each pay like $9 or $10. That is not realistic for a lot of people. And so when jobs aren't available, like why can't I just have one job that pays me decently?
So I would agree with that, but I think you have to make the choices to do that.
I think that the way that they tell us to achieve the American dream, black people, we don't have access to it in the same way. So if we try to achieve the American dream, and I'm putting it in quotes because I don't necessarily believe in it, but if we try to achieve it in that same way, like our outcomes aren't necessarily the same. Because again, we just said 100K to us is like, woo. But if you say the American, that to a white person,
man, I remember.
That ain't nothing.
Yeah, we're going to talk about it more when we come back. This is the Maze Jackson Show. We are asking the social media question of the day. Are some black people just more driven to succeed than others? We're going to open up the phone lines, too. It's the Maze Jackson Show. We'll be back.
The Maze Jackson Show. We'll be back after this break.
Introducing your trusted source for high-quality black emojis, better known as Blackmoji. We believe black is beautiful, and that beauty should be reflected in the digital market. Now there is an app that does just that, starting with Black Greek letter organizations. Blackmoji D9 offers more than an emoji app. It is a cultural experience of black excellence. Download the app in the Apple or Google Play Store to access a specially curated catalog of emojis representing the Divine Nine. Use the emojis to celebrate Black Greek events, acknowledge current events, support social causes, and learn about esteemed Black Greek members who blaze the trail of Black history. A portion of every subscription goes toward a scholarship fund specifically for members of Black Greek letter organizations to help keep the legacy alive. Download the Blackmoji app today.
Boys, step aside. The Radio Rookie is in the building. The Book of Dawn, Monday through Friday, 9 a.m. to 11 a.m. on What's In It for the Black People Media.
Tune in every Sunday. Don't miss it. Live from the West End for the Black People Media Studios. It is the Kickoff Kickback. Join the conversation with the brothers, Eugene McIntosh, Herb Howard, and myself, Terrence Tomlin.
We got analysis live from the stadium. The brother Joe Lewis will be following through. We got great guests coming in, players, personnel, people.
Say what? We do our thing every Sunday from 10 a.m. to 12 noon, taking you right up to kickoff.
We picking the full slate of NFL games. We talking fantasy football. Gino got you covered on all the bets. It's a kickback.
Make sure y'all join the conversation. Smash that like button. Smash that share button. And continue to help us push the culture forward.
Don't miss it every Sunday from 10 a.m. to 12 noon, live here from the West End for the Black People Media Studios.
It's time for the social media question of the day. Call in and say it with your chest. 872-259-7474. That's 872-259-7474. Give us a call and say it with your chest. 872-259-7474.
Listening to the Maze Jackson Show. I'm your host, Maze Jackson. Got my co-host, Todd Stroger, Ruthie Moore, Sonia Escobar. Yeah, we're going to talk about the Chicago's 90s Black Renaissance at some point. Because I was just having flashbacks of when we controlled it. Man. But anyway, I'm going back to, are some black people just more driven to succeed than others? So, Ruthie, I somewhat agree with you. I don't think anybody should work 3 jobs. But I think there is, if you have to work 3 or 2 jobs, it's probably from some choices. Or some love.
I look at it different. I look at it, if you got to work 2 or 3 jobs, then why do we live in a country that pays people these meager wages?
So I guess my perspective is just a tad bit different, because I don't think that meager wages come with, like, if you make the right choices, even if they're, I always feel like we're judging people against the McDonald's standard as compared to the standard of a person that went to, let's say you graduated high school, got 2 years of college, and then got into the workforce.
But Maze, there's a thing called like the McDonaldization of the world. Everything is that same model: cheap, fast, low wages. And so when you live in a country that's built their economy and their work system off that, how can people at the bottom come up?
That's interesting.
I think there's very few countries that are not like this. I mean, you go to Denmark or Sweden or something.
Sweden.
Yeah, but they probably got better health care.
Yeah, they do.
Like, so it's just like, what we supposed to do?
But there's a difference between the countries, and it's huge. Mm-hmm. One thing, their countries are like, thousands of years old, and we're not. And they're very homogeneous. Homogeneous. Thanks, bro.
I know, we just struggling with these words. Ain't
Salim!
Well, they're pretty much all the same people. I mean, there's not like a lot of different groups in there. Mm-hmm. So they don't have any old cultural fights. They're all on the same page. But when I look at my peers, when I think of my peers, I think of people who went to St. Louis. It's not high school or college. In the neighborhood, it was I think a lack of people who went to college, and as I got older and met more people, I found there was a lot of people who went to college, and then 2 years later they left. So I think part of that is their parents wanted them to be better than they were, but they didn't really know how to instill into them that, this is what you need to do, and I'm going to be backing you 100% all the way and pushing you and trying to figure out how you will succeed at this.
Yeah, I don't know if okay, so I would agree with that. I would say that I probably got that from my parents right up until I went to college. Mm-hmm. Right? Like right up until I went to college, and then they was like, here go $100, homie. Have fun.
Well, see, that's what part of the problem. I mean, it wasn't everybody, but I saw a lot of, parents who would say, okay, you're 18, bye.
Yeah, I do think that we don't get a running, like, so.
You know why? You know why I say that? It's because of the whole concept of I had to walk 50 miles to school. So you gotta walk 50 miles to school, and I think, hold on, let me finish. And I think
that's just a joke for us now.
No, but I think generationally, that's the mindset that we have to the generations beneath us, and it's like my struggle was up here, so you gonna get some of this struggle because I think that's how I'm instilling the toughness so you can survive in this cold world. So at 18, you got to go out to the wilderness and kill a lion and come back, and that's how you show your manhood.
That's interesting. I would push back on that a little bit. I think looking back, I don't think that most black parents, like most of the people I knew went to school because they got a scholarship, right? They found a way or they got some financial aid and they got to school.
That's how my dad got
right?
to school.
And I don't think that when a black parent dropped their kid off at school, that they were like, oh, I don't even think my parents really had a full concept of what $100 meant dropping off a kid at the University of Illinois. Mm-hmm. I think they thought it was like going to big high school where everything is taken care of and all you got to do is go to class and not the real values of world. The other part is I don't know if I think it's more of not I want you to struggle. I don't really have it. And so the best way to frame it is to let me make you tough because I don't think that I look at the black college kids experience and I look at the white kids college experience and it is vastly different, right? The white kids at college be like, my job is to go to college, right? I'm here to party, go to college and all of this. And when I finish this, it's going to be peaches and roses and mom and dad are going to send me an allowance and I'm going to be, man, if you ain't get that $1,000 from the Pell Grant, you was black, you was stuck. Or you had to get a job and you was trying to make it. Here's my point, though, because I think I went down a rabbit hole. I don't think everybody had to go to college to be successful. I see a lot of people that said, I am not going to live like this. And so whatever it takes for me, whether that was selling drugs in some cases, right? And they became the best at that, whether it was becoming a plumber or becoming a handyman or getting a job making $35,000, $40,000, $50,000 a year. And I feel like there are some people, are they ever going to, do they see anything wrong with their existence? Or is it that they don't know a way out?
I think you've hit it right there. Because I think what happens is, you know how we get all these people say, well, everybody doesn't have to go to college. Well, that's true. But I think we set the bar so low that nobody goes to college. And of course, Ruthie, you're right. It is very expensive to go to college nowadays. But I think the bar is set where these people won't succeed in this level. So why even fool around?
I don't know. I don't know if I agree with that. I think that the bar for a college degree is changed. It's kind of like a high school diploma a little bit. Like, yeah, it'll get you some more opportunities, but they just keep moving the goalposts. So first you needed a GED. Then you needed a high school diploma. Then you needed 2 years of school. Then you needed a 4-year degree. Now you need a master's degree. And some of these jobs want you to have a PhD. You ain't about to, for $40,000, I got to have a PhD.
They are moving the goalposts.
And I gotta work two more jobs.
You gotta have a PhD. Okay, so I'm
just saying they keep moving the goalposts.
To be a teacher now, I mean, like in college, if you don't have a PhD, they don't want to look at you.
Everything is weed out. That's the name of the game, is to weed people out.
So it's interesting. I feel like that's part of my entrepreneurial drive, right? I'll be honest. And I think that I have not really operated inside the realm of the traditional workforce. So it may be, right? I have always, since my existence, had to eat what I killed.
See, you are different. Most people, and I do mean most people, do not want to run their own company.
I don't necessarily want to run my own company. I want to create a great idea that turns into a company, and I want to sell it, or I want to be a investor.
That's white people thought. That's why
I don't want to.
White people
I don't want to
I'm
be
gonna
chained
create
to
a company. It's going to be huge. And if I'm not running, I'm going to sell it for $1 zillion.
We'll sell 40% of it and then give y'all cut, right, for investing in the dream as time, and then everybody does well, right? But again, my premise is not built around employment. My premise is built around creating employment and creating opportunities.
Most people are thinking about, how am I going to eat?
I feel like and I feel like I have to think about how I'm going to eat. And I just realized that trying to wait on white folks to feed me, or waiting on, when they changed the rules with Enron, then I knew I had to really be on my business. Look, y'all, it's the Maze Jackson Show. We'll be back.
The Maze Jackson Show. We'll be back after this break.
What's up, good people? If you didn't tune in to the last I Said What I Said, here's what you missed. This legendary journalist, man, his list of accomplishments goes on and on. He's an author, a brother. He is someone that, for me, I've looked up to literally since I was about 11 or 12 years old. And this was really before I knew his name. I mean, I knew what Slam Magazine was. That's kind of what you did as a shorty. But I didn't even know that he wrote for it, right? And I had read plenty of his articles, but I didn't know that the dude who I saw every morning on my way to school was Scoop Jackson. Eastside crazy, man. So, growing up over there where I grew up, there wasn't a whole lot of positive male representation. I would walk down the block past his house every morning. I would see him coming out of his driveway, right? He had this coldest truck, black Pathfinder, if I recall. I would see him, and he would always just take a couple minutes to chop it up, and it would just be me or, a couple of my guys just walking to school. And again, over there wasn't a whole lot of representation of positive black males. I don't know that you were aware of the difference that you were making on us at the time.
I don't want to say I don't believe in the concept of giving back. I feel if you give back, that means that you left. So my whole purpose in never leaving the same neighborhood I came up in is that I never gave back. You just give. I would hope that I would have impact on what your everyday lives were. I could be the one dude in the neighborhood that stopped and spoke to you, which I think is really important.
Yeah.
Because young individuals in black neighborhoods, especially young men, get ignored very quickly.
All the time.
They get dismissed. Right. They get minimized. And the one thing, I still do it to this day. Say what's up to everybody, especially young brothers, because we have a tendency not to acknowledge one another. And I've never lived that life. My hope was that, us having the small time and me just being there, and you all, just developing a relationship with me and me developing a relationship with you would have at least a small impact on you. It would give you like, there's some decent people around me. There's something I can look forward to maybe. If I don't have anybody else in this neighborhood that I can talk to that can identify with me,
right,
I can ring Scoop's doorbell. You got a good memory. It was a black Pathfinder too. You good.
Coldest truck I had seen. I was like, yo, that's raw. Cuz balling. I said what I said. Urban 2, right here on What's in It for the Black People Media.
You are listening to the most dangerous show in the morning. This is What's in It for the Black People Radio. Maze Jackson. Maze Jackson, the most vociferous advocate for black people in the world.
What's in it for the black people? Cause economically we are not equal. Waking up to lies, can't doze no more. I told y'all, yeah, this is a dangerous show. Don't go to church if you ain't trying to help us. Don't even try to be around that can't protect us. We see the lies, not other politicians. We need money and no symbolism. It's Maze and Sonia and Ruthie and Todd explaining how we all come from God, giving us tools to beat the odds. If we're united, our movement gon' stop. If they ain't tryna help us, they ain't tryna do nothing. We gotta do something, we gotta stop running. It's time to confront the problem. Really, you expect your oppressed to solve on.
The Maze Jackson Show. I am your host, Maze Jackson. Got my co-host, Todd, Stroger. Todd, you over here loosey goosey, so I'm gonna do this. I'm gonna say what's up to Ruthie and Sonia, and then you all dancing. What's up, you?
Man, that's because my stomach's talking. You know, jerk chicken, rib tips, turkey tips, and more can be all ordered online or by phone.
Delicious.
From the Woodlawn. Located
Woodlawn?
at 1200 East 79th Street.
That's 79th and Woodlawn, eh?
Yes, I can walk there if I'm feeling good. The Woodlawn on Chicago's South Side is where food, culture, and making an impact intersect. WIIFTBT. Wait a minute, I screwed something up.
That's
WIIFTBP.
That's
Media.
with the media. Just say with the media, man.
With the blah, blah. Media is proud to support the Woodlawn, an innovative economic center for the entire family. Experience igloo dining or host your socially distanced event and more. Ruthie, you can invite all 50 of your relatives from Pembroke.
Yay!
Visit us online at www.thewoodlawn1200.com.
Shout out to the homie DB Digby and Woodlawn taking advantage of the small business advertising special. Hey, y'all better get up. Get with the advertising. What's in it for the Black People Media. Shout out to my guy, Toussaint Werner, Herb Howard. Shout out to them putting up some dang numbers. Like, they trying to put up some numbers. Who said what they said? It's all good. I ain't gonna trip. They think they wake up still every morning like, dang, nope, not there yet. Mm-hmm. Not there yet. But shout out to Herb too. I said what I said. Shout out to Book of Dawn. Y'all listen to our prayers and thoughts out. But today, also, we will be having Dawn Boatman sitting in for Book of Dawn. Right? Dawn Boatman sitting in. Y'all get used to Dawn. She's going to be joining the network very shortly. Got some big changes coming up. You know what? Then we got, shout out to the Bigs. They'll be on from 12 to 3 today. And don't forget, from 2 to 3, they are going to be dropping dimes with Big Mark. Big Mark Aguirre has joined the What's in It for the Black People media family. He is going to be joining the Bigs weekly for a 1-hour segment. Be on the lookout for some of your greatest old school basketball heroes, as well as for you young parents out there that have 8th graders, 7th graders, and high schoolers that are playing. You know what? I was at the gym yesterday recording a special with Big Mark, and he provided so many tips for young basketball players. Be on the lookout for Dropping Dimes with Big Mark, because he's going to be giving young people the game inside the game. I learned a little bit yesterday. I even learned why I don't have to use all my muscles to try and shoot a three-pointer. Oh. Right? He showed me how to use my legs to go all the way up my arm to make it a coil and
Well, now you realize why all my shots were short.
Yeah, because Boog ran your legs off. But we gonna talk. Y'all stay tuned for this. There may be a video popping up a little bit later. We gonna keep that. It might be a video popped up though a little later. Y'all stay tuned.
I think that's an in-house thing.
It's an in-house, but it'll be in-house. Man, and speaking of in the house, my man said he run your house, the house of basketball. You don't want to.
Who that?
My son. He said who?
Wait,
Todd.
Give me 4 months. I'm coming back.
All right, y'all. Let me ask you. Do you all remember when the George Floyd? Y'all remember George Floyd?
Yes, sir.
Well, you remember. What would you say if I told you that the murder of George Floyd sprung millions of dollars, hundreds of millions of dollars in donations to charitable organizations who were dedicated to racial justice? What would you say if I told you that the Minnesota Freedom Fund, prior to the murder of George Floyd, took in approximately $150,000 annually in donations? And they had a staff of 1.5 people. What if I told you after
they had that many people
with $150,000, a $75,000 job with a part-timer, and then you keep going back, and it's like that's them social service agencies that's really somebody's job. Legislator hook up, right? Look, we're gonna pay you $175,000 grant for your foundation, and you can have pay your office rent,
right?
And you can make yourself a salary. That's what that sounds like to me. But I'm gonna let that be. I'm gonna let that be because that's way too much inside baseball. You know that happened though, right? That does happen.
Oh, I'm sure it does. Yeah.
Right. Like a lot of agencies got like a $200,000 budget, which is really the homeboy hookup. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? And then I'm gonna stop. Okay. So anyway, what if I told you that $150,000 a year annual agency? What do you think they took in after George Floyd? And no cheating off your papers. How much would you say that George Floyd's death was worth to them?
$750,000.
$750. Okay, so they went from 100. So you're saying that they grew a little bit over 6 times, right? 600% growth. That's what you're saying.
Yes.
Okay. So Todd is saying that the $150,000 agency with one staff person. Now remember the name. Listen to the name. The Minnesota Freedom Fund. And you're saying that they went from $150,000 annually to $750,000 annually. A $600,000 increase. Todd, I think if you were in business and you grew from $150,000 to $600,000, would they consider that a successful business
I would
venture?
think so.
Would you consider that a successful business venture if you grew by $600,000 in 1 year?
Absolutely.
Okay. Ruthie, $600,000. They used to have $150,000 a year. Mm-hmm. George Floyd is killed. It's named the Minnesota Freedom Fund. How much do you think it increased?
From $150K to $150 million.
See, Ruthie, she's cheating. She just took that's like burying the lead. Right now, you just took all of my steam out of it. No, $30 million, Ruthie. They went from $150,000 a year agency to a $30 million agency.
That's like winning the lotto.
It's
a lot of money.
You know what Can I? Thank you, Ruth. Thank you, Sonia. Did y'all see City So Real?
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm. Remember in City So Real when I said Black Death is a profit, is a hustle? Black Death is a hustle. Now, the Minnesota Freedom Fund says we now have a $30 million, which is a great problem to have, but they don't even know what to do with the money.
Do we know what their mission is?
Ruthie, can you, you the deep internet researcher, could you just hit Minnesota Freedom Fund? Could you also check to see if the executive director is black or white, please? I just would like to know that too.
I don't even know if we want to know.
Minnesota, yeah, we do. Yes, we do. Yes, we do. Because, Minnesota Freedom Fund. Now, check this out. Guess who else is offering financial advice for what philanthropically you should do for your Black Lives Matter money. Rockefeller Philanthropy Advisors. Not Jay-Z Rockefeller. But the white Rockefellers are now advising people on how to best invest their philanthropic dollars in racial justice causes.
That's interesting.
Black Death is a hustle. Now, as I look at Ruthie's face, I feel like my suspicions may be confirmed. Ruthie, please tell me about the Minnesota Freedom Fund and let me see the team, please. Black Death, George Floyd dies.
They may not update it. They still get that 1.5 person there.
I will just read the vision and the mission.
Mm-hmm.
So the vision, the Minnesota Freedom Fund envisions a world where justice restores the humanity and dignity of all involved. We fight to exist in a world where every individual has access to resources to lead healthy and full lives. Now the mission, this is how they achieve it. The Minnesota Freedom Fund pays criminal bail and immigration bonds for those who cannot otherwise afford to, as we seek to end discriminatory, coercive, and oppressive jailing.
Now, read the names of the two, the proprietors.
You mean like if I click on Meet the Team?
Meet the Team! Yes! Greg Lewin.
He's the one.
And Lewin and Elizabeth, back up, I want to see her name. Elizabeth Taylor.
Is she the half?
Shiro. I'm seeing some common denominators here. And Marina Polak.
She must be the new guy.
Pollock. Octavia Smith is on the board. Rashard Zanders is on the board. Michael Friedman.
Is there any color in that?
Hold on. Yeah, there's the colored people are on the board.
Oh.
Darren Carrington, public defender. So let me tell you what that is, right? That is, do you notice the characteristics that I see? I'm not going to do it because we'll be off the air, but we'll talk about it a little bit later when we come back. White folks making money off Black Death, and they paying immigration bonds with George Floyd's death donation.
What an interesting job.
It's the Maze Jackson Show. We'll be back.
The Maze Jackson Show. We'll be back after this break.
Hey y'all, this is Salim Muwakil from Muwakil's World. In case you missed the last discussion, this is what you missed.
There was a time when there was a large-scale mythology that African people had no endurance. We were only good for sprinting.
Right.
And that was our forte. Other than that, we were useless in marathon races. Establishing your patrimony on the land. If you bury the dead, that means that this land is forever in your family.
Who are our ancestors, really? We are the living ancestors to a whole genealogical line going back hundreds of thousands, millions of years that we carry within us living today. Everyone who preceded us. Mm-hmm. However, that conception took place, whether it was violently, with rape, or whatever the case, but we are them living today.
That's why it's important to understand our capacity, man. Our capacity is unlimited. We have unlimited potential.
Absolutely.
So make sure you tune in Monday, Wednesday, and Friday from 11 to 1 p.m. on What's in It for the Black People Media.
Shop at Black-owned and operated Solo Beauty, where you are appreciated and respected. Located at 8158 South Cottage Grove, Solo Beauty can supply all of your Black hair care needs. Solo Beauty is open from 11 a.m. to 8 p.m., Tuesday through Saturday.
To the Maze Jackson Show.
What's in it for the black people? What's in it? What's What's in it for the black people? I'm in it. What's in it for the black people? What's in it? What's in it for the black people? I'm in it. For the black people.
Call in and say it with your chest. 872-259-7474. That's 872-259-7474. Give us a call and say it with your chest. 872-259-7474.
For the black people. What's in it for the black people? Let's hear it. What's in it for the black people? Don't fear it. What's in it for the black people? Let's hear it. What's in it for the black people? Don't fear it. For the black people. 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 What's in it for the black people? You know it. What's in it for the black people? Let's show it. What's in it for the black people? You know it. What's in it for the black people? Let's show it. For the black people. 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 For the black people.
You are listening to the Maze Jackson Show. I'm your host, Maze Jackson. Got my co-host, Todd Stroger, Miss Ruthie Moore, and Sonia Escobar telling everybody what to do. That's right. She run the joint. We ain't tripping. She said, you got 30 seconds. You better get your butt back on that mic. I was like, I'm back. All right, y'all. So, did you know that? Check this out. When I saw, there's a few things that made, so a lot, back when George Floyd was dying, not killed, I recall quite a few black people asking, where is all this money going? Right? We saw international companies making donations to all of these organizations that realistically really did not have any standing in the black community, right? I think about most of the Black Lives Matter marches and all of the George Floyd protests, and I said that most of the people I saw out there doing the havoc were white folks. And I think we all as black people, first of all, I didn't see black people rushing to donate no money, right? What we saw was white guilt on full display, corporate. But I kept saying, where is this money going? When you see that the Minnesota Freedom Fund that focuses on black, indigenous people of color, how you say it, BIPOC? It seems like we're being compromised. It seems like George Floyd's death is funding a white liberal agenda. We are just role players. We are the face. The Black Death is the face of a white profit-generating machine. You know that there is a lot of money being moved when you hear Rockefeller. Not Jay-Z Rockefeller, but the Rockefellers from New York that are now advising people on their philanthropic donations to racial justice issues. Now, does anybody here watch Billions? Okay, so...
No.
I'm gonna just
be a little bit about it.
Okay, I'm gonna just tell y'all need to start. I put y'all up on game. You need to watch Billions, and it will change your perspective on philanthropy. You know, there was a time when we saw all of these rich white millionaires saying that they were going to donate their millions, that their kids weren't going to be rich. and that they were going to donate them to these organizations and give away all their money. But it really was a play. If you watch Billions, they break it all down. And it is all a play to shelter their billions and protect their children and weave them into society without them having to bear the brunt of their taxes. So then when I realized that this was being studied, you know when I knew we was really on to something? That Black Death was really a new white hustle? When we did you know that there's a Institute of Family Diverse Philanthropy?
No.
At the University of Indiana? They study what organization money should be given to. Now, why does a white family go to an organization like that? Who funds that? Who funds the study of diverse philanthropic contributions?
You know what? You would really be surprised how deeply fundraising data, metrics, and research is. Because you don't, in the quest to raise money, you want to do it as efficiently as possible. And so there are a lot of companies that people literally like get like intel data and they build up donor profiles. Like philanthropy and giving is big business.
It is tremendous business.
So I can see a whole school having that data because it's
wow.
money.
Wow. So I didn't realize that it would be a whole study. But just think about how many people are now using Black Death as a new philanthropic give back. Now, if you combine that with watching the Gangs of London, Lord have mercy, Jesus, you're going to be like, I'm telling you, and I'm going to tell you these shows are based in truth. Right? Like the characters are fictional, but the storylines are based in truth. And when you think about that money philanthropic network and what it allows you access to, when you think about the Koch brothers and guys like that, they financed the arts.
All right. That's right.
Because through the philanthropic contributions, that is where you can innocuously institute your belief system without people feeling like you're a threat. Right? If I come to you with blankets in the wintertime, you're going to be like, thank you for the blankets. You ain't going to say, wait, they got smallpox in them?
No, that's not going to be your first thought.
Exactly.
Right.
You're going to be like, thank you. But then you have to ask yourself, why are these white people donating to Black Death? And for your point, Todd, how does the Minnesota Freedom Fund, run by two white people who made $150,000 a year, then get $30 million in donations? And what happened to your NAACP? And what happened to your Urban League? And what happened to your black institutions? Because now, again, I've seen this movie before. It is the new investment place is now in people of color. It is not in black.
Right.
You can get it all. That's why you turn on every damn TV commercial and everybody's great.
Well, I wouldn't say they're great, but they are mixed.
Black, white, gray. I'm suggesting.
No, I always thought Obama was great.
Oh, he great.
That's different.
Black and white. He's great too. But my point is,
sorry about throwing you off.
What? No. What? Why do white people invest in Black Death? Philanthropically. Will this lead to studies? I'm just asking.
No, you're right, because, the lottery, the Mega or the Powerball, maybe both of them are like 225. So whenever I see those big numbers, I'm thinking, man, if I won that, that'd be like $80 million right in my pocket. And let's see, then I'd take $10 million, I'd start a foundation, and Hans would be the head of it.
Right, but you could guarantee your salary forever.
Right.
Right? If you give away as a philanthropic, everybody's coming to you to give money.
Right.
So nobody is looking at the intent as to what you're giving money to. I gotta ask, how do two white people go from 150,000? George Floyd was murdered, and white people got rich. Who black did better off of George Floyd's murder? I'm just asking you.
Ruthie, this is your
how many
your bailiwick,
who donate? Because if you're a donor, are you donating to a bunch of Negroes that's outside tearing up something, or you gonna donate to the white boys that make you feel comfortable?
Well,
you know how to deal with those colored people. You're out there. Black Death.
This goes back to your shirt thing. The colored shirts, people.
Black Death is a hustle.
Mm-hmm.
And if I was to, I would encourage you to go look at the website of the Minnesota Freedom Fund. Google it.
Well, I think it just shows everything black is a hustle.
Everything except we ain't part of it.
Yeah, except for
we are the hustle.
Yeah.
It's the Maze Jackson Show. Even our death. All them people out there marching and white people got rich off of it. It's the Maze Jackson Show. We'll be back.
The Maze Jackson Show will be back after this break.
Minding our black-owned business. I have a good friend with us this morning. I'm so excited. Jonathan Swain is here. KimBarkBeverage.com. We tend to talk about business a lot. We both are in family businesses. Was this the plan? Because you are second-generation business owner.
Yeah. No, actually, I'll talk about it from my father's perspective, and I'll talk about it from my perspective. His perspective, he did not want me to be in this business. The liquor business has a sordid history. You know, they call it a sin business. I mean, it's less that now, but it had a very sordid history. He didn't want me to do this. He wanted me to go off to school. My father was the first person to fire me at 9 years old. I was supposed to be at work at 11 o'clock, and I showed up 5 minutes late, walked me outside, and fired me. And I'll never be late again. So I appreciate him for that. I walked home. My mother said, well, what happened? I said, Dad fired me. What happened? I was late. He said, well, you got fired. You're late. You can't be late. Told you to get up and leave. My side of it, in many ways, I have a very unique rearing experience in that I've never seen my father work a job. So when I was born, my dad was an entrepreneur. Growing up, I'm going to own my own business. I'm going to be in business doing something, controlling my own destiny in some ways. In particular, my father's generation relative to us, there's not a lot of information transfer about how that works. And there's not a lot of context. It's kind of, I'm going to keep you away from the struggles I had so you don't have them. But in not seeing the struggles, you don't know how to get through the struggles. But as I've gotten older and we developed a relationship and talked about it, I began to understand a lot of the bumps and the bruises and the challenges and what makes entrepreneurship and business ownership not for the weak and weary. All the success I've had in business has been a function of with my parents. As fortunate as I am and people look to my business story, there is no business story but for them and what they did. I mean, my dad was the first black business owner in Hyde Park in the 1970s. Hyde Park, though it's welcoming and inclusive now, wasn't always that way.
Yeah.
There are a lot of stories that he would tell us about the challenges that he had being a black-owned business in Hyde Park back in the 1970s. That success comes from their legacy ultimately.
So what you see a bad mother.
WIFTV PM.
I think that the black community is starting to realize the mayor may not necessarily be an ally just because she is black.
Live from What's in It for the Black Media Studio.
Our representatives don't necessarily get a pass just because they're black. We've got a challenge in the black part of Chicago of holding black politicians accountable.
You're listening to The Maze Jackson Show.
This is Chicago, so I understand the Chicago way. I ask every day what's in it for the black people.
With Maze Jackson.
Come on, y'all.
Call in and say it with your chest. 872-259-7474. That's 872-259-7474. Give us a call and say it with your chest. 872-259-7474.
You are listening to the Maze Jackson Show. I'm your host, Maze Jackson. Got my co-host, Todd Stroger, Ruthie Moore, Sonia Escobar. Hey, y'all, don't miss Saturdays, Minding Our Own Black Business, hosted by one of my very favorite people in the entire world. It's not just because she's my sister, Tennille Jackson, but it is because she keeps us straight. You know what I'm saying? She keeps everything, keeps the trains running on time. But speaking on time, do not miss it. Saturday at 10 a.m. She has the best guests all the time, talking black business. You know what I'm saying? Like, a lot of conversation is about employment and jobs, but really the interesting conversations around black business and ownership. The last show that she did, she was off last week. She played a replay with Jonathan Swain from Kimbark.
Mm-hmm.
That was a really interesting conversation because it went into generational businesses versus do you allow your kids to live their dreams. I was just deep. It's like, I think that needed to be a continuation because I was screaming at the TV like, no, man, you got to make your kids. Meanwhile, my son's like, I still plan to play in the NBA. I'd be like, no, you're going to run with the media because we're going to have a tower and it's going to be big stuff. And he'd be like, yes, Dad, but I still plan to go to play basketball. I'd be like, but when you get done, you're going to run the...
I'm going to say a name that you love, Arnie Duncan. My mother said she'd run into his mother some places, I don't know. And she'd always be like, when is he coming home? She didn't want him to go to play basketball overseas. She wanted him to come home and work.
Oh, he played basketball overseas? I didn't know that. Okay. Well,
so I don't think it's unusual.
So he had a wicked jump shot. Basketball, the ultimate white boy. That basketball is the ultimate white boy pass. I'm just telling you. Sisters, the sisters give him a pass. Oh, look at him. He got a jump shot. Next thing you know, we done gave up the Secretary of Education. He done finessed y'all up out y'all spot, right? Got the jump shot. That's that daggone University of Chicago Lab School Connect. You know what?
Hold on now. Because I would
trying to get my daughter
argue that black men gave Arnie Duncan a pass to be cool playing basketball.
No,
a particular black man.
Gray,
y'all know.
a gray man. Gray.
So don't do black women on that one. Y'all let Arnie hit them jump shots.
I'd be mad every time he was playing in the NBA league. I mean, when he was playing the All-Star Weekend.
Oh, yeah.
That just blew my... I was just like, really? Yeah. Dog, go be the Secretary of Education.
Them highlights are cold, though.
Yeah, I'm about to say, he was the best player out there, so...
Was he?
Yeah.
I was like, I couldn't... So, here's what you'll never hear from me.
What?
That the white boy was the best player on the court.
Except
you just don't never hear it. Ever! I don't care if Larry Bird was on that mug by himself. You will never hear me say it.
By himself.
Never.
Michael's the best.
Thank you. Never. Dare you, Eminem. Eminem could be the only person on stage. I'd be like, he is not the best rapper here. I'd be like, give me that mic. Be like Nate Robinson, though. Nate Robinson, I'm just going to tell you. Nate Robinson, he stole a lot of black pride the other day. I'm not tripping on him. But he sure did because,
No, he really won. Nobody's talking about the other guy.
Yeah, right.
Actually, Sonia's right. What he got was what, people pay for, and that's fame.
Not the kind of fame. Yeah, ask Monica Lewinsky about that fame.
I think she's made out pretty well for it, actually.
Yeah, I think after 30 years of trauma, right? Okay, see, that's black folks right there. Now, if she would have done that in the Kim Kardashian era,
look, she was in an entanglement. There've been a million people in entanglements from
she was
19
a young
whatever.
Woman who got taken advantage of.
Well, that's true too.
She
was a young woman. I don't know if she got taken advantage of. I think she saw fame and she was like, "Ooh, famous. I like you."
This is not on
How
the
about
paper.
them free?
Wait a minute. This is not
on the paper.
So
up north.
Okay.
Let's go in the bowl.
I was gonna touch that, but I'm gonna. It's hard. I'm like, they're like, leave it alone. It's like alarms going off in my head. Don't touch it.
That's a crazy. Those type of subjects are crazy because some people always are upset that the famous person has now been tarnished.
So, Todd, did you ever have any interns as a elected official?
Marcus Austin?
Did he ever find affection in you? Let me stop. I'm done. I'm out.
Maybe like a father.
I'm out.
I want you to succeed, son.
I'm out. Invest Southwest, the death knell for Black Chicago. So I am going to do my Noah impression, right? My Noah. You know, I think that I'm going to retire like frustrated political Maze Jackson soon. And I think I'm going to go down like the Steve Harvey path and be like, ha ha ha, that's funny.
But you're going to get
I'm going to be like,
you're gonna get bigger suits?
I'm going to get bigger suits. I mean, y'all seem to like long suits on short people anyway. So
more eye contact?
I'm going to, I think I'm going to move away from the political space and just be like, man, life is good out here. Let me go drive my cars and do all this stuff and just get the money because
I bought a Steve Harvey belt for $6.
You could get you a Donald Trump tie for like $2 now.
Oh, really?
But anyway, I'm gonna stop telling y'all because it only frustrates me it frustrates me to be the Maestradamus sometimes. And when I say the Maestradamus, it's I told you, like, I predicted years in advance, and then it comes true, and everybody be like, oh, that Negro, blah, 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 and then it happens.
Mm-hmm.
And my most enlightening political time in my life, I share with you all, right? That is during the time that I lobbied, right? That is where I would tell you that I truly learned about how the sausage was made. Mm-hmm. And what I learned was whenever they were sitting around putting a fancy title on something, it was a way for people to get rich, but it was also a way to Ruthie, you used the word finesse. How do I finesse these people out they stuff while they smile about it? Right? I remember when it was the nursing home racket, right? So there was a wave during which every black ward there was this plan for seniors, right? And they started building these senior homes, and now you're seeing the continuation of it. Mm-hmm. And they basically said, every alderman, one guy came up with the plan to build these senior residences, right? And they greenlit him getting rich because he had a package and he went to every alderman, and every alderman always wants to have a place for their seniors, right? Mm-hmm. And so essentially what it did was, and then what we saw was that a lot of seniors would leave their home because they didn't want to have the responsibility, and they'd move into this senior residence, and it was sold as a big, great deal, and then we would have these big old housing vacancies, and then what you would see is that another community would start buying up those homes of those seniors, and then you saw neighborhoods change because they moved out the seniors sold their houses to get into the residences, which we understand because they can't manage the house, right. But then it opened the door for another community to assume that good housing stock. So when I see Invest Southwest and I see that they target 3 communities that jump out to me, Bronzeville, North Lawndale, and South Chicago. Those are the 3 that jumped out to me, right? Mm-hmm. Was because all 3 of those places are ripe for white transplants. So if you think about Bronzeville then and now, right? Bronzeville, the Gap, this whole area, right? There was a time when this was the low end and it was bad.
Right.
As we've seen the sky rises, sky towers, and we've seen the removal of black businesses all down Michigan Avenue, as we've seen the sale of the Chicago Defender building, now a place where white people revel and get drunk on our history. No, I mean, they be getting pissy drunk like, wow, this is who is Bob Sinstag? Let me dance on his desk. As we look at our history being removed, we remember when it was sold to us the last time as a plan for transformation. When you look at these areas and they say they are blighted areas and they are now going to create opportunities, and they are asking developers to tell them how they envision the community. How many black developers do you know right now that are redoing communities? They're talking to white developers about how do you take Bronzeville and make it more appealing to white people. They're taking requests. They're not saying, here's our plan. They're saying, you developer. Now, I want y'all to tell me, who are the black developers? And where is their footprint? There aren't very many. You see black developers, they're at the Cook County Land Bank doing one house at a time. They're not rebuilding neighborhoods. So when you see a white guy say, I got a plan for Bronzeville, which now is connected to the South Loop, does he envision black people walking around? And so when you see $60 million of investment, it's a $60 million investment to remove you. When you hear somebody say, we're going to go to North Lawndale, Todd, North Lawndale is a housing-based community with vacant lots that can be built up, or existing graystones and housing stock that white people would revel. We don't see them the same way. They see them remodeled.
Right.
Right? They see those vacant lots as places where they can build $300,000, $500,000 homes. When that developer submits a plan for North Lawndale, who are the black people on his team saying, this is what black people need? When you see South Chicago, and I'm talking about, Todd, you know what I'm talking about, when you go down Lakeshore Drive and you going east and they're going to develop that, and this, all the roads are paved back there, and you like, wait a minute.
8840 through 54 South Commercial.
When you see that area, that essentially is going to be rebuilt to relook for a whole nother group of people. Where are the black people in that mix? Now, I also want you to remember that that is also about, think about the Obama Library over east in that space too.
Mm-hmm.
Right? So now you're looking at all of that area that we knew as the east side, lakefront property, right? City's already got a plan to start building bars on the beaches. Mm-hmm. You see they already took the beach at 63rd, and now that is 63rd Street Beach is now, what's the white boys downtown that got the chicken wings that they don't like the black people to come? Right here on 22nd Street. That black people go and sit on the roof. Reggie's.
Oh.
So they gave Reggie's.
Reggie's on the beach.
On the beach, 63rd Street. You think that Reggie's on the beach gonna let y'all have the house music festival back over there? No, they ain't. So when you ask these people, when you think about Invest Southwest, who are they really investing in? The current people or the people they want to be there? Let's talk about it more when we come back.
The Maze Jackson Show will be back after this break. Call in and say it with your chest. 872-259-7474. That's 872-259-7474. Give us a call and say it with your chest. 872-259-7474.
You fun guy. Where's tomorrow? Fun guy, what's up, baby? What it do, baby? Yeah, yo, what do you know? You know what I'm saying? So I'll be telling you.
What's going on, Chicago? What's in it for the Black People Media presents?
I want to go higher. Oh, my God.
Call your sons, call your daughters, call your friends, call your neighbors.
The Big Tuesdays and Thursdays, 1 p.m. to 3 p.m. with Eugene McIntosh and Terrence Tomlin. We got what you need right here on What's in it for the Black People Media.
Back to the Maze Jackson Show. And you can Tell them. May said, we want to know what's in it for the black people. AM 1570, WBGX Harvey, Chicago.
WIFTV PM.
This is the Maze Jackson Show. They done made me mad on the break. I'm just saying.
I don't know how. We didn't say nothing.
Yeah, I be listening to y'all, man.
Maze. Maze, you've been doing this show for so long. And when I tell you that when I first started, the first thing I thought was, I need a therapist. And so, Maze, I'm telling you, take care of your mental health, my brother.
I'm going to tell you what. I'm going to be honest with you. I would say that I have never, ever thought about mental health as an issue. But I am going to say the more I do this show, I do think I'm going to probably need some therapy. Because I be looking at people.
No shame. It's no shame in that, Maze. It's no shame in that.
It's a tremendous. I feel like.
I
feel embarrassed.
It's a weight, Maze, that you need somebody neutral to talk to about that, who ain't going to judge you. Like, they probably going to know you because you're kind of famous, but you're going to have you some confidentiality. Like, and if you really feeling jazzy, Maze, get you a black man therapist.
I'm going to tell you. Like, I don't know if I feel a certain way. And I don't feel like there's a feeling of not helplessness, but almost despair. I almost feel like
you want to burn it all down.
No, I feel like I could, some days it's not burn it all down because it's like, I'm not going to lie. I'm not like you and two, and I want to participate in the economic largesse that I know exists, right? And it's almost like being in hell.
Bing, bing, bing. But I think the economic largesse, that's the problem black people have. It's not that we're losing our homes. It's that we're not making enough money to stay in our homes.
But I'm with you. I don't debate any of that. But it's almost like they put it on the table and then put it behind the glass and you can't get it. And it's like, it's there. You're smart enough. And then when you try to talk to your own people about it, they be like, no, that's not a glass. It's good because they on the other side of the glass. And it bothers me that we are complicit in it's frustrating to me to know that this is happening, right? Like, I'm telling you, like, I used to go to aldermen and elected officials and be like, man, this is what they doing. And they would be like, no, because I would go to the meetings. I would literally lobby, right? And be at these lobbyist meetings and be like, y'all need to ask this. Because here's what you need to do. And it would be like, nobody wanted to touch that. And it's like, if you asked, they would be obliged to deal with it. But we won't even ask. And it is, I am.
Maze. So let me tell you this quick story.
Go ahead.
I worked at a CPS school one time.
Okay.
And I was noticing that the kids wasn't the younger kids wasn't washing their hands when they came out the bathroom. The teacher was standing there and give them hand sanitizer, right?
Mm-hmm.
So I was like, why ain't these kids washing their hands? I couldn't understand it. So I did a little investigating, and it was because they said, well, they keep on wetting paper towels and throwing them up at the ceiling, right? So I was like, I can't believe these kids ain't washing their hands. I don't get it. So I'm thinking like, okay, the principal cannot know this. So I went to the principal and I said, hey, principal, these kids ain't washing their hands. Da-da-da-da-da. Do you know when people told me to shut up and mind my business? And at that moment, that taught me a lesson that sometimes you think that you being a helpful whistleblower, putting people on the game, letting people know, clearing the fog, not knowing that they a part of it too. And that really taught me that you got to really know who's for who can you trust.
Yeah, but there's a bigger picture. The bigger picture is the reason they're using the hand sanitizer is because they don't think they can make the children do what they want.
And I thought it was very lazy too, because it takes a little bit.
That's what I think it is.
I would bet
it took extra time, right?
I would bet that they don't know. They don't do it because they don't think the parents would have their back if they discipline the children for doing what they don't want them to do.
It was a white teacher too, so I really thought I was going to this black lady principal saying something.
You have to have buy-in from parents to get things done, in my opinion.
But I think, Ruthie, you kind of hit. I think so. There's a couple things. I think you guys are talking about two different things, sort of, right? In the fact that there is a world outside that may not agree and they may be conspiring against us. But when it comes to our well-being, like I think you go to the principal because you're looking at the white person letting the kids walk around in infected mugs.
That's what I thought.
You go to the principal to say,
a black
hey,
woman.
Principal, I don't care what goes on outside of this joint. Our kids are walking around here with pissy hands.
These little
black kids got urine on their hands or whatever. So what if they throw them? White kids throw spitballs and throw everything on the ceiling and whatever. You go to the person saying, hey, look, I want to tell you this is happening. And then they turn on you. Right? Where you was trying to be like, let me pull you up, dog. Don't go down the left. And then you turn. It's like them prison movies. That's what it is. It's like them prison movies where the guy, you sitting with the guy, everybody else like, we gonna get you. Mm-hmm. And then he offer you cigarettes, you go sit down with him, and then all of a sudden, he closed the cell and be like, now take off your clothes. That's exactly, that's an eye scene. And that's actually how I feel about the politicians, right? It's like, in many circumstances, I always feel like it's easier to deny. I don't know, man. This political thing that we have here, I really wish God would lift the burden from me. I honestly wish that God would lift the political burden off of me. I really wish that I did not see. I really wish that I would have stayed in blissful ignorance with the rest of the black people. I really wish that I could have just stayed a happy political guy that was happy to just do my stuff, right? I feel like I could have climbed the ladder and been as successful as a black person in politics that was not elected could be, right? I feel like I had the tool set. It was always made, that kid smart, he's got, right? That's why I was able to climb. That's why we knew each other. Mm-hmm. But there was something when certain things happened that I just couldn't be with. And I can't unsee what I saw. I love this political thing, but it also causes me the most pain because I know the power that exists within it to move our community. I always thought one thing that my guy told me about politics was that it affects you from you got to have a birth certificate to get in this mug, and you got to have a death certificate to get out. And all in between, government impacts that. Mm-hmm. I have watched as it has done it time and time again. When it was happening to us before, I didn't have the same eyesight or perspective. After lobbying and seeing the sausage being made, it almost feels like too much. And it's like watching everybody dance around in their suits and be all dressed up and go participate and fake the funk when they're not moving the ball. And the white boys are moving it consistently. They're scoring every day, even as these federal indictments are going on. I just want God to lift the burden from me. Look, it's the Maze Jackson Show. We'll be back.
AM 1570, WBGX Harvey, Chicago.
Introducing your trusted source for high-quality black emojis, better known as Blackmoji. We believe black is beautiful, and that beauty should be reflected in the digital market. Now there is an app that does just that, starting with Black Greek letter organizations. Blackmoji D9 offers more than an emoji app. It is a cultural experience of black excellence. Download the app in the Apple or Google Play Store to access a specially curated catalog of emojis representing the Divine Nine. Use the emojis to celebrate Black Greek events, acknowledge current events, support social causes, and learn about esteemed Black Greek members who blaze the trail of Black history. A portion of every subscription goes toward a scholarship fund specifically for members of Black Greek letter organizations to help keep the legacy alive. Download the Blackmoji app today.
Maze Jackson.
If you could make up a social media holiday, what would it be?
Randy said National Don't Let No One Put You Down Day.
No, what you gonna do? So when they say something crazy, you slap them?
Be like May said. Remy said a Jukathon Day.
Man, we're about 60 years old. Be done had a heart attack.
You gotta get your heart rate up.
Okay, not that far.
All right, Mario said my favorite one. My friends and I do what we call National Call Off From Work Day.
As a business owner, I don't.
You don't like that?
Yeah. I don't like that one.
Because I'm the boss of this family. We got Marcus Garvey Day from Remy too.
Oh, Marcus Garvey Day. All right, what will we do on Marcus Garvey Day?
Call off from work.
I'm going to need you to go ahead and come in tomorrow. That would be great. Okay?
Yeah, right. well, every black holiday has something to do with calling off from work.
You're cool. I'm out.
About National Join a Positive Black Organization Day, because I don't want to be recruited. I don't want to be recruited and the brothers be like, thank you. Thank you. How about National Tell White People the Truth Day? Tell them how you really feel.
You can't handle the truth.
Why don't we call that National Black People Get Locked Up Day?
I'm going to tell them there's an African-American man threatening my life.
Hello.
The most dangerous show in the morning.
Shop at Black-owned and operated Solo Beauty, where you are appreciated and respected. Located at 8158 South Cottage Grove, Solo Beauty can supply all of your black hair care needs. Solo Beauty is open from 11 a.m. to 8 p.m., Tuesday through Saturday.
listening to the most dangerous show in the morning. This is What's in It for the Black People Radio. Maze Jackson. Maze Jackson, the most vociferous advocate for black people in the world.
What's in it for the black people? Cause economically we are not equal. Waking up to lies, can't doze no more. I told y'all, yeah, this is a dangerous show. Don't go to church if you ain't trying to help us. Don't even try to be around and can't protect us. We see the lies, not other politicians. We need money and no symbolism. It's Maze and Sonia and Ruthie and Todd explaining how we all come from God, giving us tools to beat the odds. If we're united, our movement gon' stop. If they ain't tryna help us, they ain't tryna do nothing. We gotta do something, we gotta stop running. It's time to confront the problem. Really, you expect your oppressed to solve on. What's in it for the black people? All the lies we heard before. Time to pay attention, you gotta do more than listen. Make some action with it on the count of three. Let's go.
You are listening to the Maze Jackson Show. I'm your host, Maze Jackson. Got my co-host, Todd Stroger, Miss Ruthie Moore, Sonia Escobar in the building. I'm your host, your man, Maze Jackson. So I was gonna talk about political misleadership. So another level. Okay, so I need some therapy, y'all. I'm not gonna say I need therapy because I don't believe in therapy. I don't think that. I don't know as a black man if really there are people that are going to empathize with the challenges that we face.
It's not about empathizing. It's about being able to talk through things so that you might be able to uncover, forgive me for using this word, but you might be able to uncover some trauma that you've encountered throughout your life that leads you to the feelings that you have now. So if you're able to unpack that with somebody, it'll help you onto like a quest for enlightenment if you truly are seeking to lift some of those burdens up off you.
Yeah, like a therapist's role is not necessarily to solve your problem. It's to help you solve your problem.
That's my cousin do that when he come over. My cousin be like, "You feeling down? Try this." I'll be like, "Hey man,
now
give me some
I will tell you that there is an integration between your cousin and therapy. And you can find you a therapist that'll let your cousin come with you.
Absolutely.
Hey,
Holla at me.
Let me just tell you.
Ruthie knows so many interesting people.
I mean, I'm telling you, when you leading the revolution underground, you got to have the network.
I guess that's
the spy network.
Did y'all notice I only know like a little bit about like a lot of stuff? But if you ask me to dive like super deep in, I'll probably get lost.
No, you wouldn't.
That's
You
right.
probably be like, "Nah, I got my underwater scuba gear for my because she got a utility belt."
I'm not trying to get my hair wet.
Even with the locks, I thought that's why y'all got
You
the
know how
lock.
long my hair take to dry? Shh.
You gotta put how long do it take?
I normally try not to put too much heat in it. So if I sit under a blow dryer, I'm not too happy. So I like to let it air dry. So
Okay.
Can you imagine how long it takes?
Yeah, you remember I used to have my locks was as long as yours. And the girl used to braid it and do the wash and all the stuff, and then it all worked together. But it's all good. So one of my other frustrations is talking politics with unpolitical people. Because politics is not about altruism. It's not. The altruism comes after the politics. Give us a call, 872-259-7474. You know, and if you are listening on the radio, I need to hear from you, 872-259-7474, because I'm trying to make some decisions as it relates to the radio. So if you are a radio listener, now would be the time to call, 872-259-7474. But yesterday I took a picture. I shared a graphic from India Today. which was a picture of all of the Indian Americans who were part of all of the Indian Americans who were a part of the Biden transition team, right? And it was significant.
Mm-hmm.
And I was trying to, and I posted, congratulations, we won. Black Girl Magic, right? Now, you know I was being facetious, but I told you yesterday I'm very concerned about the intersection of Kamala Harris, the immigration narrative, and blackness being merged at this time. So when I posted the picture, I posted it with the thought process of I wanted you to have a visual understanding of how politics works, right? The appointments to the transition team are a position of political prestige.
Mm-hmm.
They also allow you a voice in picking the people who will be best suited, because it's so much, they go hire all the experts and then they bring them in and they got political and all of that together. So I'm looking at this list and I'm seeing Indian American Times posting it with pride, right? Like, look what we got.
Right.
Look what we got in the transition, and it was all types of good spots. I also then was received by, again, the Cape Crusaders, non-political Cape Crusaders, who are like, you could have done this a better way. I need for you to see how this works. The Indian American community wasn't embarrassed about what they got.
Right.
They didn't. They made a big old post and said, see, this is the benefit of our vote. But I have the political black sheep suggesting that there is something that I'm being hateful. I was being spiteful. I was. Because as I've looked at the Biden transition team, we can't identify those people.
Mm-hmm.
There is no black brag paper graphic where it says these are all the black people we got for being here. So let me start there by suggesting that if you don't understand that the transition team leads to the people that are going to get appointed and picked for those positions, then we're not having the same conversation. Then we then look at the appointments that have come down. We have been told that we got the most diverse group. Diverse, you know, when I see diverse, then diverse includes women, right? Diverse includes black, white, Asian, Latino. And then we look at what we actually got in appointments. We got Cedric, what's his name, who's the director of outreach, the sign guy. We got the UN ambassador. We went through the definition of that. They're not part of the State Department. They're not part of the Department of Defense. It is an elusive title that nobody really knows what they do. Mm-hmm. It is a prestigious title, UN ambassador. And then we saw the black woman who was added to the team of economic. She's going to lead Biden's team of economic advisors. My friends, those are not political wins. Political wins include staff, i.e. you have a nationwide department where they gonna tell you the big people, but you get to pick the rest.
Mm-hmm.
That means that if you got a department, you get to put all your friends or associates or constituents that qualify in those spots. So when you're the UN ambassador, you got a freaking secretary.
Mm-hmm.
And you got a head of security. You are responsible for your personal protection, fool. You can't put on 20, you don't control massive budgets. You don't have billions of dollars. You don't buy equipment. You don't purchase. So when I look at black wins, that's what I'm looking at. Now, we got the chief of economic advisors. Now, is that economic advisor, the head of the economic advisory committee? Where's the budget? Where's the staff? If you can't show me budget and staff, then we really ain't got that's not a win. Then we go to, we got and then we got Simone Sanders, right? Simone Sanders, who is the chief spokesperson for Joe Biden, is now the spokesperson for Kamala Harris. Who listens to the vice president? Like, the vice president's spokesperson is speaking, huh?
Yeah, right. I didn't know that position existed.
So now, you got black folks who are political scientists saying we're rooting against ourselves. No, I'm asking all of you who said wait, how much longer? So now they're saying Jay Johnson may go to the Department of Defense, which is cool, except we ain't got no damn defense contractors. How many black people build jets? How many black people build bombs? So even if and I was talking about Jay Johnson last time, but that becomes another symbolic black first. And symbolic black first first means zero for us.
You had me until this part.
Go ahead.
No, it means something to put somebody in charge of something. They can open doors that previously weren't.
Okay, I'll give you that. But we look at Jay Johnson and we look at the Obama's record of administration and how many doors did they open. I would bet you that they'll be looking for. He'll be worried about his credibility more than. But let me not say that. Let's say that we get the Department of Defense. Realistically, that would be the only political win that I see out of Joe Biden currently for black people.
You know, I agree with a lot you're saying, but this conversation made me think about what I was thinking the other day, that our largest problem that we are disjointed. We are not connected. So there's black people with a lot of businesses that we know nothing about. And they probably stay out because they're like,
I don't want to be messing with y'all Negroes, get me in trouble.
Exactly. You know, you guys ain't doing nothing. Why would I want to be hanging around with you?
You know what? And that is the interesting part. That's how all the Obamas made it. It's the Maze Jackson Show. We'll be back.
The Maze Jackson Show. We'll be back after this break.
We fun guy. Where's tomorrow? Fun guy, what's up, baby? What it do, baby? Yeah, yo, what do you know?
You know what I'm saying? So I'll be telling you.
What's going on, Chicago? What's in it for the Black People Media presents?
I want to go higher. Oh, my God. Call your sons, call your daughters, call your friends, call your neighbors.
The Big Tuesdays and Thursdays, 1 p.m. to 3 p.m. with Eugene Mack and Todd and Terrence Tomlin. We got what you need right here on What's in it for the Black People Media.
Tamika Scott. Yeah. As we take this journey through life, we face trials and tribulations. But just know, the enemy is not gonna win. Cause the storm is almost over. That's right. The storm is almost over.
Too far to turn back now. Hold your head, it's almost over. So set up to take you to your destiny. It's gonna be alright. Everything happens for a reason. Yes, this is your season. Just keep on believing. Blessings you'll be receiving.
You are listening to the Maze Jackson Show. I'm your host, Maze Jackson. Got my co-host, Todd Stroger. Todd, so you're suggesting that it's better for some black people to just stay low. I agree with you, though. There's a lot of black people that have businesses.
No, I don't think it's true. I think we create our own problems by thinking that it's better to be not a part of a group, or not our group.
Yeah, I would say that.
But there's a lot of infighting, too.
Well, I feel like a lot of our the people who win, as far as I'm concerned, win from disassociating with black people. Like being like, I'm not those Negroes. Let's open the phone lines. Let's go to the live line. We got my man Tommy on the line. Tommy, it's the Maze Jackson Show. What's up, brother?
Well, first of all, let me say good morning, Ruthie, Sonia, Todd, and
Good morning.
To you, man.
Morning. Good morning, Tommy.
You know, guys. Political apathy comes from uninformed and ignorant people, and when you look at the landscape of why Maze things are the way they are for you, it's basically based off of the fact that when you speak truth to power, and you got ignorant people, then what the hell do you expect? I mean, what you're talking about, Maze, is so clear and in your face that, Ruthie, can you explain to me why the black people in the city of Chicago would not have supported Todd? Accomplished. Not based upon who his name recognition was, but what the man actually accomplished as a political figure. And when you stop and you look at this is when you get frustrated. This is when you get angry. This is when you get aloof. This is when sometimes you say, well, what the hell am I voting for when I got stupid people who don't even recognize what the meaning of our issues and our plight is. And then you say, I cannot not vote because based upon individuals who pick cotton and believe that a day will come that we would all come together and understand that these people do not have our interests in mind. And the only way we're going to solve this stuff is to get people in the office that does have our interests in mind and make sure they stay there. But most importantly, at least have an understanding of what the hell Maze is trying to talk about. Hell, can somebody please just give me a donation so I can put some lights on my damn rims? Goodbye.
Not lights on my damn rims. That's my man Tommy. Y'all, I'm gonna be honest. I'm praying for deliverance. I'm praying for deliverance of concern for black people. And I don't mean that from the standpoint that I'm upset with black folks. But I don't know if politically there is any real hope for us. I think that we are willing to bear arms against each other for white folks.
Mm-hmm.
Like, we are willing to think about how many people were willing to. So, again, we haven't seen anything from Biden. Let's go to the live line. Dan, you're on the Maze Jackson Show. Dan, you too. We're listening to you. What's up, man?
Morning, everybody. How y'all doing?
Good morning. All right.
I'm calling it. All right. I listen to you mostly on the radio, but I also listen to you on my phone. About the UN, I Googled it after you said that the first time, in the United Nations ambassador can be a cabinet level post. Different presidents elevated or demoted. Trump demoted it out of the cabinet. And also I heard on Salim's show, somebody called in and said the ambassador to the UN has a 1,500 member staff. So we better do some looking into that and see if it's a better position to have than we thought.
Let me suggest.
All I had to say.
Okay, thank you. No, thank you. I appreciate that. That's good insight. We have not seen Biden elevated to a cabinet level position. Again, if you also look at that same definition, it says that the title is elusive. 1,500 staff is usually, that includes the security guards, right? That's the people that run the UN. That's not their staff. They ain't appointing regional directors, right? Who then control regional offices. That process runs with or without that person. And Trump elevated Nikki Haley to the spot and then dropped it back down. So I'm not suggesting that. I'll give you 1,500 jobs. Ty, how many jobs you think are in the How many jobs you think are? So let's say 1,500 jobs in the department in the UN. Mm-hmm. How many jobs you think are in the Homeland Security?
Oh, geez, Homeland Security. I don't
Hundreds
know.
of thousands, tens of thousands.
I want to say that Homeland Security is the largest department in the U.S.
Okay, so then let's talk about the Department of Defense, right? Like again, it's perspective. It's like here's my point. You would rather call and argue with me about the 1,500 jobs instead of recognizing, and again, this is why I talk about having these conversations. You are arguing for less for yourself, not me. You didn't win. I mean, I'm with you. She got 1,500 jobs. That's not really valuable when you think about these other places that have tens of thousands. And if you look at every other position, they don't have them. Let's go to the live line. Byron, you on the Maze Jackson show. What's up? Byron? Byron.
Good morning.
Good morning, Byron.
Can you hear me?
Yep, we got you.
Hey, I just want to make a point. Wasn't it Ice-T or Ice Cube or Lil Wayne that went to the president and developed a plan for the black community? It was $4 million or $40 billion? Who was that?
That was Ice-T, Ice Cube. They call him, but they made it. They turned him into lemonade.
Right, but all I'm saying is, they developed a plan. They went over it. They agreed to it. Now, if that was you, Maze, would you have taken that plan, yes or no, or would you take the zero that Biden gave you?
I would have took the plan to both people, and then I would have presented it to everybody. I would have told them I'm taking the plan to both people. I would have did it on Facebook Live, and I would have said, I don't want to talk to Kamala. I want to talk to somebody with some signatory authority. Baddest man hit my hand first. And then once they said both of them agreed to it, then I keep pushing it up to who going to give me more. But we don't get that. We don't understand that. We don't understand negotiation. What we understand is take it or leave it.
No, Maze. We are just stuck on that D. I'm telling you. You know about doing things the right way, negotiating, putting pressure on people. There was no pressure on Biden to do nothing. And then here goes this one white guy who's a racist, a red man, yellow man, orange man. At least he agreed to a plan. They presented a plan, then he made modification, and then they both said, okay, this is the plan. This is what we can go with.
You know what, Byron?
Nobody said anything. Nobody asked anything. Nobody questioned and said, well, Biden, what's your plan? What are you going to do? What are you going to sign off on?
Asking
that question.
You're right, Byron. Thank you for your call.
Actually, I don't think Byron's right. If I remember from what Ice Cube said, they did not take his plan, but they did talk to him about it.
And again, here we go, arguing against our own self-interest. That's part of my whole thing. Like, we make excuses for the white people that we won't give black people.
Man, don't be arguing against facts.
I'm not arguing against facts. I'm suggesting that, again, it is hard for me to sit in a space where we constantly get screwed and the argument is between us. Like, we literally are arguing over the crumbs that are on the floor. Literally. Like, facts or not, that's what we're doing. And it is.
Byron brought it up. How can I not talk about it?
No, and it's like
he would think less of me if I hadn't said something.
No, it's almost embarrassing for me as a black man to see what we're willing to accept. And hey man, this job gets to be frustrating at a point. Because not once do white people argue against their own self-interest. They won either way. If you was a white person against Donald Trump, you won with Joe Biden. If Donald Trump would have won, you would have been tired of him talking crazy, but you wouldn't have lost no money. You wouldn't have lost no white privilege. Negroes arguing with each other over everybody else's privilege except our own. And these are our freaking thought leaders. Like, it drives me nuts that people don't understand that politics is war. Like, we don't bring anything home, and then it's like Negroes tell, what did my best friend in my head say? Don't give me crumbs and tell me it's a cake. It's the Maze Jackson Show. We'll be back.
The Maze Jackson Show. We'll be back after this break.
What's up, good people? If you didn't tune in to the last I Said What I Said, here's what you missed. This legendary journalist, man, his list of accomplishments goes on and on. He's an author, a brother. He is someone that, for me, I've looked up to literally since I was about 11 or 12 years old. And this was really before I knew his name. I mean, I knew what Slam Magazine was. That's kind of what you did as a shorty. But I didn't even know that he wrote for it, right? And I had read plenty of his articles, but I didn't know that the dude who I saw every morning on my way to school was Scoop Jackson. Eastside crazy, man. So, in growing up over there where I grew up, there wasn't a whole lot of positive male representation. I would walk down the block past his house every morning. I would see him coming out of his driveway, right? He had this coldest truck, black Pathfinder, if I recall. I would see him, and he would always just take a couple minutes to chop it up, and it would just be me or, a couple of my guys just walking to school. And again, over there wasn't a whole lot of representation of positive black males. I don't know that you were aware of the difference that you were making on us at the time.
I don't want to say I don't believe in the concept of giving back. I feel if you give back, that means that you left. So my whole purpose in never leaving the same neighborhood I came up in is that I never gave back. You just give. I would hope that I would have impact on what your everyday lives were. I could be the one dude in the neighborhood that stopped and spoke to you, which I think is really important.
Yeah.
Because young individuals in black neighborhoods, especially young men, get ignored very quickly.
All the time.
They get dismissed. Right. They get minimized. And one thing, I still do it to this day. Say what's up to everybody, especially young brothers, because we have a tendency not to acknowledge one another. And I've never lived that life. My hope was that, us having the small time and me just being there and you all, just developing a relationship with me and me developing a relationship with you would have at least a small impact on you. It would give you like, there's some decent people around me. There's something I can look forward to maybe. If I don't have anybody else in this neighborhood that I could talk to that can identify with me,
right,
I can ring Scoop's doorbell. You got a good memory. It was a black Pathfinder too. You good.
Coldest truck I had seen. I was like, yo, that's raw. Cuz balling. I said what I said. Urban 2, right here on What's in It for the Black People Media.
Leading me to lie down in green pastures. He leading me beside the still waters. He restored my soul. God's gonna turn it around.
Come all the way with me. Don't leave me now. Come all the way with me. Oh, please. Please. Please don't leave me now. Please don't leave me now. Please. From glory to Gethsemane, Gethsemane to Golgotha, Golgotha to the grave, from the grave back to glory. Glory to Gethsemane, Gethsemane to Golgotha, Golgotha to the grave, from the grave back to glory. Glory to Gethsemane, Gethsemane to Golgotha, Golgotha to the grave, from the grave. Glory to Gethsemane, Gethsemane to Golgotha, oh, Golgotha to the grave, from the grave back to glory. Oh yeah, oh yeah, oh yeah. Come all the way with me. Don't leave me now. Come all the way with me. Oh, please. God's gonna turn it around. God's gonna turn it around. God's gonna turn it around. From glory to Gethsemane, Gethsemane to Golgotha, Golgotha to the grave, from the grave back to glory. Glory to Gethsemane, Gethsemane to Golgotha to the grave, from the grave back to glory. Glory to Gethsemane, Gethsemane to Golgotha, Golgotha to the grave, from the grave. Glory to Gethsemane, Gethsemane to Golgotha, oh, Golgotha to the grave, from the grave. Dear Lord, it's me again. God's gonna turn around. I'm calling on you. You did it before. I believe that you can do it again. Somebody calling you right now, Lord. If it ain't one thing we need, somebody else needs you for another. Please, son, look and have mercy. Have mercy over our home, Lord. Have mercy. Have mercy. God's gonna turn around. God's gonna turn around.
You are listening to the Maze Jackson Show. You know what? Deep down in my heart, I got faith in the Lord. I know some days I be sending up some stuff. Y'all bring it out me. But I am asking the Lord, man, give me an answer. Deliver me from this weight around my neck. You know, I want to be righteous for my people. But I'm going to tell y'all keep me awake at night. Y'all keep me awake at night. And some days listening and talking and reading and watching. And, you know, some days I have to disengage from conversation digitally and in person.
Maze, I'm glad that you are finally listening to me when I told you I ain't on social media. This is a very interesting way to spend my mornings.
Ruthie has scrubbed herself from the rest of us.
I felt like I was just being soft because when I first expressed, I don't know if you was here when I first said that, Todd, like, this is very mentally taxing, and y'all made me feel like I was just soft. But now I think that, Maze, it's okay to embrace the mental health aspect of fighting for the liberation of our people. You have to. Like, if you don't check your mental health game, you will literally lose your mind or you'll become disengaged. It's so easy to get apathetic. So either you're going to go crazy or you're going to become apathetic.
I agree with you there. There are times I'm like, man, I'm tired of you black folks. But I got to keep myself busy too, though.
Yeah, I am mentally. Let's go to the live lines. Let's go to Betty. Betty on the Maze Jackson Show. What's going on, sis?
Hello, good morning, young people.
Good morning, Betty.
Yes, I'm just calling to tell you that when you have been put in a position, you're going to have to go through some trials and tribulations. So don't give up, because if God has put you in that position, you have to, and He have ordained you for that. You're going to go through some trials, and I don't know if you believe in the Bible, but I believe in Jesus. So just think about what He went through for us, okay?
I will. Thank you, Betty. Thank you. Okay. Thank you, Betty. No, I'm gonna tell you, thank you for the encouragement. And I believe in the Lord, and I believe, and I think, I was telling you the other day, like, you say to God, man, if I could pass this cup, right? Mm-hmm. Like, this could be passed from me, you could take it, right? I'm happily go sit under a tree somewhere. And, but I do feel it's like, y'all don't understand black people. Like, I want to be through with y'all. I do.
Maze. As a young black person that has been fighting for my people, you know how long they've been doing me wrong in my young life? And so what if I got disgruntled when I was 20 because somebody ain't pay me what they were supposed to pay me, or they did me in because I'm trying to help black people? So if we get out the fight too soon, then we never really was in it. And
Ruthie, I'm 50.
You young, Maze. You heard you heard Miss Betty just say young people. You heard that?
Miss Betty ain't seen my hip.
Let's go to Vaughn. Vaughn, you on the Maze Jackson show, man. Vaughn?
Hello?
Hey, Vaughn, what's up? You on the Maze Jackson show, brother?
Yes, yesterday you said you were looking for people to be broadcasters on your media company, but you didn't give out the contact information.
Oh, I'm sorry. Take my email down. It's Maze, MAZE, at WIIFTBP Media, MEDIA.com. That's Maze at wiftabookmedia.com. If you are interested, if you got a new show concept, a new show idea, please send it to us. We are building out our lineup for the next year. So we picking up shows. Speaking of that, Terrence Keys, the gospel song. They are going to be joining us they're going to be doing a Sunday morning show. So we're going to be doing a Sunday morning praise and worship show. So you all be on the lookout for that. That's going to come the Sunday before Christmas. So not this Sunday, but next Sunday. And it'll be right before the kickoff kickback. All right, let me go to the live lines. Diana, you're on the Maze Jackson show. What's going on, sis?
Yes. Good morning, Maze.
Good morning.
I love your show, and I listen to you every morning. And I just wanted to say that we need to hear how we can donate to your show, because there are a lot of people like me who listen and want to help. So just repeat over and over each day how we can donate to your show, so we can keep you going and help you financially.
Yeah, you know what? Thank you. Thank you so much. I'm going to tell you. So you can go to, and is it WIIFTB Media at, so we got it all. So it's PayPal. You can go to admin at WIIFTBPmedia.com. I'll put up all of those, and I'll make sure that we announce them, as well as, you know what we should do? We should cut a promo for it, right? Let's just cut a promo for it and tell people how they can donate as well.
You can also support us by buying ads, because Robin Patrice is home of the flyest handmade
Shout out to Robin, R-O double.
From natural soaps, lotions, VTs that speak to you, jewelry, wickless candles, men grooming items. Flyness is a choice. So choose Robin Patrice. They truly have something for everyone. Shop online at robinpatrice.com. Follow her on Instagram and Facebook. That's Robin with 2 B's. Support Black business.
Shout out to Robin with 2 B's, Patrice. Let's go to Lincoln. Lincoln, you're on the Maze Jackson show. What's up? Is that Continental? See how I did that?
Can
you hear me?
Lincoln, we can hear you. Lincoln?
Can you hear me now?
We can hear you.
Okay. I just wanted to shout out to you and give you a little encouragement. You know, Moses got pissed off because them folks were so disobedient. I mean, to the point that he put himself in jeopardy by disobeying the Most High. Don't put yourself in jeopardy by disobeying what you're supposed to do.
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Thank you.
Brother Todd had a stream from a guy. He made a comment on his Facebook page about black folks buying PlayStations instead of something else. Something to that nature. And one guy, he got all bent out of shape because Todd made that statement. We have a propensity to get pissed off at the people that call out I'll call them our disobedience. I'll just put it like that. We have to, because we don't appreciate being corrected. And the scripture I read said, if you can't stand correction, call you a bastard, which means you're not a son of the Most High. You're not a true son or a true child. So I would encourage our folks not to be bastards and take that correction and make a change in direction. In order to change anything, even with a pencil, you have to stop writing, flip it over, and make a movement to change your mistake, and then turn it back over to keep going. Talk to you later.
Thank you, Lincoln. I appreciate that. Let's go to the live line. We got.
You know what I say about the Bible is interesting, is depending on who translated it, you get some interesting words.
Amen. That's sort of like the slavery, right?
Right.
So the same Bible told you to be a slave or not be a slave. Let's go to Tamiko. Tamiko, you on the Maze Jackson Show. What's up, Madam President?
Good morning. Good morning, Ruthie, Todd, and Maze.
Good morning.
Morning.
I don't have anything harsh to say, but we didn't get here overnight. So it's not going to take overnight to fix it. It's going to take a minute, but it's going to take all of us. So don't get discouraged. Every time I get in that place, Maze, I pray, and then God just sends me my second and sometimes my third win, okay?
Okay. Thank you.
Okay?
Yes, I appreciate it. It's just tiresome. Thank you, Tamiko. I appreciate you. I'm gonna tell y'all, Tamiko is one of my G's. When stuff start going crazy and people start talking crazy, she will jump in the mix. But I was this Madigan thing, this budget thing, this invest Southwest. I just feel like, at what point do we stop celebrating everyone else's victories? Like, I feel like we celebrate everybody else but ourselves. We take pride in getting everybody else in the door, but our damn selves. I'll talk about it more when we come back. It's the Maze Jackson Show.
The Maze Jackson Show will be back after this break.
The Chicago Legal Network is the collaboration of attorneys that concentrate in many areas of the law most needed in Chicago neighborhoods. The CLN lawyers focus on personal injury, criminal defense, and other issues. The CLN lawyers all average over 20 years of legal experience and are dedicated to helping the Chicago community. The Chicago Legal Network is committed to developing black lawyers through mentorship and co-representation. So if you were injured in a car accident, slip and fall, or injured on the job, or you need assistance with criminal defense, including driving violations and DUI, check out ChicagoLegalNetwork.com for more information or call 773-912-3545. 773-912-3545.
Boys, step aside. The Radio Rookie is in the building. The Book of Dawn, Monday through Friday, 9 a.m. to 11 a.m. on What's In It for the Black People Media.
Are you curious to explore the intellectual currents that channel our thoughts and frame our reality? Have you ever meditated for relaxation and accidentally discovered the universe in the process? These matters and many more you may never have even thought of will be yours to explore as you come with me into Muwakil's world. Every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday from 11 to 1, right here on What's In It for the Black People Media.
Back to the Maze Jackson Show.
Shine like a million.
his mind cannot confine.
You are listening to the Maze Jackson Show. I'm your host, Maze Jackson. Got my co-host Todd Stroger, Ruthie Moore, Sonia Escobar. Y'all know I get funky a little every once in a while. It's like we're getting close to the holidays. Things haven't changed very much. I was thinking about this time last year when we were all the Madigan stuff was unveiling, right? And things haven't changed very much. I was thinking about the budgets that have passed. It's like just to come. I'm gonna tell you, this has been a really good year for me, and I promise you, if I didn't worry about black people, I could have been gone. No, really. No, like really, 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 really. Like, it's so funny to me because it's like people like. The opportunity to take the bag. Y'all know I had the chance to cheat y'all on the president, right? I could have been out the door on the president race. Y'all know I could have been out the door on the cannabis race, right? On the cannabis.
Mm-hmm.
Like there were many people who were willing to pay me just to be quiet. Or pay me to be on a team so that we wouldn't keep the issue up.
Mm-hmm.
I've been offered payments on so many occasions to do things that have been against that would have been great for Maze, but bad for black people.
Hey, Ruthie, how come we don't get a vote in this?
I know, right? I say, can I get drafted to the wrong team?
Donate. You want to donate at PayPal? It's admin, ADMIN at wiftbamedia.com. If you want to donate on Venmo, it's Wiftba, WIIFTBP Media. Zelle admin at wiftbamedia.com. And if you want to go to Cash App, it's $Wiftba Media. WIIFTBP. All right, y'all. I'm about to.
Hey, Ruthie, everybody doesn't want to play for the Washington Generals, but we all know we can't be on the Globetrotters, right?
We do appreciate and support all your donations. We are going to be moving away from the stars. Realistically, Facebook takes 30% of that, right? And so what we want to do is be able to make sure that any of those and those stars contributions. Let me just tell you, I'm honored to know that we going to tell Devontae what I said. You bet. Tell Devontae, call us. Sonia, like, we gonna follow the rules around here. We might follow the rules a little bit. What y'all got? But I just want to tell y'all we appreciate your support. We want to make sure that we're going direct. We have subscription opportunities. Y'all, but this black thing is
not profitable.
Being black
can be profitable in the right, the right places. I don't know if we're in the right place right now.
Well, I'm going to tell you, we're going to keep on building for our people. But I am going to tell you, it's a labor of love.
I don't know how much longer I got. I ain't gonna even lie to y'all.
See, the problem is you got to get with the right group because sometimes the fun is the fight itself.
Yeah, but it's like when you with people who will let you get your ass whooped.
Well, that's not fun,
right? You know what I'm saying? It's like black people are complicit to watch that. Like it's almost like you ain't even got to be against. Just be cool. Just be like, that's our guy.
Don't hurt the team.
Don't hurt the team. They be like, he crazy. No, I'm not crazy. I want all of us to eat. I am watching y'all. Every time I read these emails, these Madigan emails, it just cooks my goose even more because it is just, we ain't getting nothing. Like, I mean, they got the senior citizen coordinator of the 13th ward that has got 4 jobs that she got to give away to interns. Y'all trying, and these you know what? How about this? We gonna wrap this bad boy up. Y'all got anything else y'all need to say?
I think Ruthie has a testament she wants to make.
Go ahead, Ruthie.
You know, I would just like to say that mental health is real, and I implore all of the black men, black women to take mental health serious. Like, we be dealing with some traumas within our ancestral lineage that we can't even pinpoint sometimes. And sometimes those things manifest themselves and we end up with substance abuse problems, domestic violence. We don't rear our children properly because we don't take time to unpack all of that trauma. It is hard being black in America. It is hard being a black man in America. It is hard being a black woman in America. And so if we don't start to unpack that trauma, maybe formal therapy might not be the way that you go, but you need to sit up in somebody's chair. So do it for your family, Maze. Todd, do it for your wife and for your kids. Like, y'all blood pressure and stuff is real. And y'all know we in the middle of a pandemic, and the pandemic is exasperated by these underlying conditions that we have, and stress is a huge part of that. And all that pork y'all be eating, but that's a whole nother story.
I can't wait home and get some bacon.
Leave it to Todd. Todd, you got anything you want to say?
I just wanted to say, yeah, you're right, Ruthie. No, but you
See,
are right.
bully. Get some therapy.
But there also, she's right. And a lot of people who drink and take drugs, they do it with self-medication. They just don't realize that there's a problem, and they're just trying to make themselves feel different than what they feel now.
Sonia, you got anything? No. Okay. Well, on that note, y'all, this is the Maze Jackson Show, asking the question every single, for Maze and Sonia and Ruthie and Todd, this is the Maze Jackson Show, asking every single day, what's in it for the black people? And if you don't like it, you can still tell them. Maze said.
Maze said.
We out of here. Peace.
Bye.